Talking about is you tell him.
What were you saying, Troms? Sorry.
Well, you said we've never done a podcast before, but at one point in time, I had never had sex before, and then I just had sex, and that was it. I had sex at that point, so this is just like having sex.
Yeah, it's just like having
sex.
It
may be more pleasurable.
Welcome to Yespixel.
Amnesia.
Is that the intro? That's the opener.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
We're going with it. Welcome to Yespixel.
That was beautiful.
The podcast where three people that play on Nopixel, GTA RP role-playing community, talk about stuff specifically around the community, but also tangentially around everything going on in their lives. We intend to have guests talk about stuff going on in the world with ourselves, and hopefully it's funny and entertaining, and we'll have some ways to make it more entertaining for you guys. Let's go ahead and start off by introducing our hosts. Let's start with the man of the hour, Troms.
Oh, thank you. Hey, hi, hello. Name's Troms. Would you like me to, since this is Yespixel, Nopixel related, do you want me to talk about my characters quickly?
Let's talk about, how about just maybe like how long you've been role playing, and then we'll talk about character specifics in a bit.
Sure. I actually started roleplay with Nopixel. I think like most people started as a viewer, just really interested, applied with an interesting character idea, got accepted. It's about 3 years ago now, so it's and that was honestly my first foray into like
really
actual roleplay. Yeah, I'd never done D&D, never done. I mean,
that's crazy because you're so good.
I guess in a sense, like most people have been role playing in video games for a long time, right? Like I've always played like a character or done like a silly bit or something like that, right? Like that's just been something that has always come naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I don't see the fun in taking things overly serious. So
yeah, don't take things serious.
I'm always goofing.
Troms 2022 and that's 52 Chainz.
All right, yeah, my name's 52 Chainz. I also play on Nopixel. Where did I start? You guys know what Gary's mod is?
Yeah,
of course.
CS:GO Gary's mod. I started in the trenches. Okay, if you've ever been on Gary's mod, you know how bad it gets. Back in the day, it was tenfold worse because it was unfiltered or anything.
It was like Xbox Live in Gary's mod. Oh no.
Yeah, so think of SPS but times 1,000, and chances are you'll get banned if you streamed it, because anybody could get into that.
Yeah,
that's how I started, and then I transitioned over to 5M with some of my friends. This is maybe back in 2015. I role played on a small GTA server. My first character was a zealot preacher, so I was always, all my characters usually are on the deep end,
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I played Red Dead, with you. Hydra.
True.
And I ran into some Nopixel streamers, and that's how I got into Nopixel pretty much. So quite the trials and tribulations.
Also, 52 Changes cannot figure out how to work his camera because he's a boomer. So this is his undoctored actual real photo in real time that you guys are seeing. So this is a live actual real photo that you're seeing.
Unedited, nothing filters.
Weird about it. Yeah. If you ever see other photos that look like it, they're wrong.
It's straight up. It's not a photo, guys. This is a live feed.
Oh, that's what I was trying to say. A live feed. Sorry.
If you see, whoever sees him blink, make sure to get the timestamp, because that's you're gonna win a prize.
Yeah.
If you see him blink.
Timestamp, please. Get the
timestamp.
And imagine moving your lips when you talk. That's weak.
Yeah. Well, as role players, we have a big wide variety of skills. I guess I'll do me. Hey, I'm Hydra. I go by Hydra Please on the internet. At Hydra Please, pretty much everything. I started role playing when I was like 10, playing D&D, and probably even younger than that because I was really poor. So I pretended to be Power Rangers when I was really little with like a stick. Big vibes to little me. Poor kids. What's up? Shout out, poor kids. And I just always loved role playing. I started playing 3rd edition when I was like 10 or 12 or something, and then I've just always just role played every chance. Like I used to be on I was playing this thing called do you guys know what MUDs are? Multi-user dungeons. Yeah. So I can't remember the name of it because it's been so long. I have too much head trauma. But I used to play on these fucking multi-user dungeons, and we would do this really scummy thing where I would get me and a buddy, and we would make our names really long and obnoxious to type, and then it'd be one character different at the end, so that if you wanted, because when you would attack somebody, you would have to type their name in. But in a lot of MUDs, you could just type the beginning of their name. And if your name is like Troms, there's no other TRAU, they could just type TRAU attack, right? But if your names are identical, he would put all his points into like health and stuff. And so people would be like, attack so-and-so. Like, you've been attacked for so-and-so. And I'm like, get wrecked, nerd. It was really scummy, but I really liked it. Multi-user dungeons blew my mind. And then I switched, once my multi-user dungeon I used to play closed, I got into like this World of Darkness online chat role-playing thing. So it was literally all text-based role-playing. And it was really interesting. And it's funny because a lot of times now in Nopixel, I'll see people that remind me of the old like World of Darkness people, because they were like, so like, my character's beautiful and elegant, and how dare you talk to me this way? And I'm like, oh, World of Darkness character right there. And then I started watching Nopixel in like early 2.0. Before the big pop off, I was watching, I used to watch Vader a lot actually. And then from Vader, I started watching Curtis Ryan, and then I'd already been watching Summit. So when Summit started playing, I was like all in, right? Because I used to like grind watching Summit playing War Z. That was like my thing. I was just like, watch Summit play War Z. And then I found out about the doc, so I started watching the doc. And so that's how I started watching. And then I tried to get into Nopixel, and I donated $50 to like, because you had to like donate at the time to get to like apply.
That's right.
And then I never
still
applied.
Have to, right?
I never applied because I was so scared of them saying no. So what I did is I like started like joining like communities of other role players and like DMing. This was like Cooper. Coop plays Coop Holiday.
Yep.
Aaron on Air. Curtis Ryan. I would like message him and be like, hey, I'm thinking about joining. Like, these are the ideas. This isn't like a stupid idea. This is a good idea. Do you think I'm like worth playing on your server? And they would be like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. What do you want from me? And then, so I was like, fuck it. I don't have it's like too anxiety inducing. So I went to Wild West RP. I had to get it right because there's a Wild RP now. I went to Wild West RP and started playing on, and that's where I invented the character John Hydra.
Wait, John Hydra is a time traveler?
Yeah.
Okay, the plot
plot thickens.
It all makes sense now.
And when I was there, I met a bunch of really cool people, and we started playing together. And I met 52 Chainz, who's an absolute, I don't know if you guys know this. 52 Chainz is a psycho. I can't believe he hasn't been fired already from PD and Nopixel.
Hey, move smart.
So then I met them, and Wild West RP was cool. It was really interesting. I really liked it. But what it didn't have was like cell phones, cars. Like everything you wanted to do took a really long time to make happen. It was hard to plan. And you kind of had to cheat a little with Discord. You're like, all right, everybody, we're fucking going to the Murillo or whatever. Don't give me that look.
Metagaming?
God forbid.
You're metagaming?
Everybody had a Discord.
Oh my god.
Nopixel actually has
Troms,
a rule.
This is news to me. I didn't know he did this.
I got screenshots. I got receipts. I
had no idea we had one among us.
Nopixel actually has a rule that if you have a Discord group, you have to have an admin from Nopixel in your Discord. Do you know that?
Oh, I didn't.
It's one of those unwritten rules. Yeah. There's a bunch of unwritten rules that they've had to like here's another unwritten rule we've had to write, and I'm like, maybe we should just do that. Just write them all.
You know, one thing I liked about Red Dead compared to GTA is that, you know, the role play, the build up would take so long that when it did eventually get to a climax, it felt way more impactful than anything I've experienced in GTA. That's one thing I miss about Red Dead.
I see what you're saying. I actually have a lot of thoughts on that. Let me finish real quick. So then I finally we played a bunch, and I've never been reported more than when I was on Wild West RP. Yep. I got reported for shooting people. I got reported for roping people. I got arrested for throwing somebody off a bridge because they said I was trying to force perma, and they like died on that hill and got banned for talking shit to the admins about it. And so it was like, I was just like, and then we had this really cool core group. We were called the Horde. And
For the horde.
The horde. And we had this like core member, and he like betrayed us. We like had an agreement. We had like an out of character agreement. Like, hey, this is our group. We want to all like play together and like role play and like have a great time. So let's not screw each other over like for real. It's fine like jokey bullshit, but like don't like ruin the dynamic, right? Everybody agree to that? Like kind of like gang blooding in, right? Like you kind of agree. It's kind of almost an OOC agreement. And then without a word, this guy just sold us out. We lost everything. We like it was just really shitty. So I was like, fuck this. I quit. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then I was like,
guy's a snake.
There's a snake in my boot. So I joined. So I went to Nopixel. I was like, fuck it. And I just write my report. And I did my application, and it just immediately got in. Just like almost like within like 2 days.
I was actually going to ask that because I had no doubt that you got in first application.
Thanks, man.
I also got okay.
Did you?
Who was your character?
Okay. Oh man. Okay, my first character.
Please tell me it was stankyleg.
No. stankyleg didn't exist till 3.0.
Okay.
In 2.0, my first. Oh no, dude. That's embarrassing. Okay. Yespixel, the thing we're doing right now, originally was going to be in 2.0 a podcast in Nopixel. He was going to interview people in the game, and no matter what crazy shit happened, he was going to stick with them. If they tell him to shoot cops, he was going to shoot cops in a video game. So like whatever they said to do, he was going to do with them to get the content, and then I was going to upload that. And it kept just not working. People kept asking me not to do it. The first time I actually uploaded an episode, they're like, I didn't agree to that. And I was like, well, I asked you in character and then messaged you and said, hey, this is going to be a great podcast. Like, how do you want me to tag you? They're like, oh, tag me like this. And then I uploaded it, and they were like, you have to take that down. I said some shit that I'm not okay with. I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
So it was just too much headache. The character's name was Hydra-Pixel, Pichsel.
I remember I was a part of this. I think I did a...
You did, yeah. With your priest character or something, I think.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like a stoner guy, but like cool and chill. He had like the long hair with like the big pony, like the rag around his head, you know, like the bandana. And actually, Hydra-Pixel eventually ended up joining the hobo camp under the bridge near MRPD. And he actually also became number 55, one of 40's friends in 2.0.
Oh, the memories. This was like, what, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago?
It was a long time ago, man.
Very long time.
And
I think we could honestly do a whole episode on 4T.
Dude, we have to get Crystal on as a guest.
Absolutely.
Because I think we've all had really good interactions with Crystal.
100%. She's got a heart of gold.
Yeah. That was actually like the first time I felt like I could make it streaming on Nopixel because her community was so good to me. And I got so many like concurrent viewership from her people. So yeah, it was like when I was like, oh, like I could do this.
That was the character that you applied to Nopixel with.
Yeah. Okay. What about you? What was yours?
I'll give you a guess as to who I applied with and who I got accepted with.
I feel like if I know you, Moosebeard was a character that you made specifically to be a cop. So I don't think that's your first character.
No, actually, I didn't.
Really?
No, I got accepted with Moosebeard.
Really?
He had no plans of ever making him a cop. It was literally something where I wanted to be a cop. I had seen it before in 2.0 when I first started watching. I thought it was interesting. It was a little too serious for my liking.
2.0 being a cop was not great.
No, I can only imagine. I mean, we got honestly amazing people like Ray who played back then as well. Winchester, he played Winchester back in 2.0. Still plays a cop now. Barrett something, I can't remember his name. That guy, by the way, if you see him, I can't remember his full name. Barrett something. He only plays in first person, and he has been for the last 4 months.
Wait, really? Okay, I actually had an idea. I'm mad. I had an idea for a character named Person, who is a cop who only does stuff in first person. But if somebody's doing it already,
okay, well he's completely taken.
That's so funny.
It's so funny to see him on scenes too, because you can tell. You can tell because he's like holding his gun up. Right,
Craig Barrett, is that it?
Craig Barrett, that's the one. Yeah.
Craig Barrett, played by Ray308 Win on Twitch.
That's right. He used to play Lionel Winchester. On
Oh, okay.
2.0. But no, Moosebeard was the character I applied with. The whole idea was to be a pirate, and I believe my actual backstory at the time included the time travel.
They let you in.
Yeah, they were cool with it. He just like woke up. I think they were more interested in like watching me, because I had all this progression stuff in 2.0 where I woke up and I had some guy teach me how to drive a car, how to like
it'd be like a boat but on the land.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly how it was. And the Moosebeard voice from back then was way different.
Oh yeah, I
It was,
actually
like, way more piratey.
saw an old clip of Moosebeard like in the background, and I thought it was somebody doing a Homer Simpson voice.
Okay.
And then I realized it was you, and I was like, oh my god, that's fucking Moosebeard, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, that was the original plan. I was gonna make like a pirate crew and you know, do crime stuff. I wanted to be a hard, tough, and cool criminal. And then took a break in 2.0 because it was just I didn't have Prio. It was too hard to get on. Server cap was like 32 to 64. It was fluctuating at the time because they were doing developments.
I never played 32 days. I played 64 days. It was rough.
It was so rough.
To get in,
I never really had got on. I didn't always like doing the voice either, which is why I made Tim at some point shortly after, just so I could put on like a voice mod and you know, just do roleplay without having to really put on a voice, you know, and do all that. Moosebeard was never meant to be a cop. He was supposed to be a criminal, and it was actually funny enough, Lenny Hawk who inspired me to be a pirate cop. Because I saw this guy who was like taking it less than serious, like he was
doing the job but goofing off.
Right, yeah, and his character is a little goofy, right, and he was actually doing roleplay that didn't feel like a real person. You know, it just felt like somebody that was like this big over the top parody of all kinds of different things, right? And I was like, you know, if he can make that work, what is to say that I can't make a pirate cop work, right? So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. It worked out. It worked out really well.
Yeah, Lenny Hawk I think did a lot for the server.
100%.
And not just, and I don't just mean Moon. I mean specifically Lenny Hawk. I think he like single-handedly helped bring down the tone of the PD in a big way. And then you follow that up with Cornwood. And so you have those two together, bring down the tone. That's when I thought like, oh, I don't just want to be PD to be PD anymore. I want to do it because this looks awesome.
You think they're the catalyst that made the SDSO happen? The SDSO pretty much embody everything they did.
Oh, I definitely think it wouldn't have happened the way that it did without them. I think that they created an environment in which something like the SDSO could exist. What about you, 52? What was your first character?
My first character, the application, it was a preacher who would burn people on Sunday. I don't remember the exacts, but basically a zealot. But he wasn't the character I played when I first joined Nopixel. The character I played was a character based off of my Red Dead character, who was a Hispanic sellsword, thief, merchant.
Snake? No, not Snake-Faced. We pretended he was Snake-Faced. What was his name?
Fidel Guavera. That was the name.
He had a cool nickname. What was his nickname that everybody called him?
Oh, the Lord of the Flies, I think.
The Lord of the Flies. That's it. Yeah.
On my first day, I went into the South Side. I didn't know nothing because I didn't watch much Nopixel, so I just went into the South Side. I just did what my character would do, and I went around robbing.
Southsiders?
I think, yeah, Southsiders. And I realized I picked up that they all had like colors on, right? There was one guy who had green, and he told me he was part of a green crew. There's another guy who had purple. He told me he was part of a purple crew. There's a red guy. There was a bunch of people, and I'd rob them all with crowbars. And I think at the end of the day, they took me, Forum Drive, the back where there's that little...
The baseball field?
The baseball field. They took me back there, and like the leader of each of these crews started pouring gasoline at my feet and set me alight. That's when I realized that, that's when I figured out the gang dynamic on the server after I did that. But then I took it slow. And after that, I just started, I tried to build an arc. 2.0 was... me and you joined near the end of 2.0.
Yeah, it was close to the end of 2.0. It was
when people were burnt out, and I wasn't burnt out, and I put in I put in a lot of effort in trying to generate arcs, and when you put in a lot of effort, but the servers burnt out.
It's just not
It's like
giving
sweep.
back.
I call it sweeping at the beach.
Yeah, and I did that for a bit, and then I just stopped, and I waited for 3.0, and then I started playing Carmine Costello.
Nice.
That's pretty much my story.
I actually remember watching that first stream because you've and I been buddies for a while because of Wild RP or Wild West RP rather. He would have a crowbar and he would roleplay, be like something metallic sticking out of pocket, and he'd be like, "I got a gun here. Don't make me pull it out. I hate to blow your pretty little face off in this car." And people would roleplay with him back then. Today, I feel like it'd be 50-50 on whether or not you get shot in the face doing that.
Yeah. But when I joined 2.0, it wasn't too bad. It just got really bad near the end. But 3.0 Nopixel, like the beginning, the first 5 months, that shit was creme de la creme. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I actually want to walk back what I said a little bit. I'm not a doomer. I'm not a Nopixel doomer. I don't think like, oh, it's terrible now. I think there's always incredible opportunity for great RP. I think there are just some people who don't want to RP with you the way that you want to RP, and that's okay. You just have to remove yourself from those people, right? Like if you go to a convention center full of like comic books and you go to the anti-hero comic book section and you go like, does anybody want to talk about Superman? People are like, no, go away. You don't just stand there and keep trying to talk about Superman. You know, you go to your Superman section, go talk about Wonder Woman, do your cool shit. Like,
Yo, you guys heard about Superman?
You guys heard about fucking Superman? This guy, Clark Kent. Yo, shut the fuck up, bro. People. But yeah, what?
The guy in the back with glasses. He's like adjusting it. The guy's ripped. He's like actual Clark Kent.
Yo, could you imagine if there was an actual Superman living among us?
Whoa!
Among
us?
Among us?
Among us! Among us!
Stupid. I always think about like, man, what if there is like somebody that like doesn't stop, crazy big crimes because like they can't because they'll be like everybody has cell phones, right? What if they're just doing like some like small shit like lady about to get robbed, just go punch some dude in the face and dip. You can find stories like that where people were like getting robbed and then a random guy came and saved them and then they dip. That happens. That could be Superman. I'm just saying it can happen.
Could be.
All right, we all have Prio here, right? On the illustrious, like the infamous Prio.
Yeah, I do. I got a little bit of Prio.
A little bit of Prio. I want to hear your
golden boy.
I'm pretty much in do 100% to the effort put in by Miles Away and myself on the Littlemans.
Yeah,
I don't think I would have got it very quickly otherwise.
Dude, the Littlemans were such a breath of fresh air when they first came out. They were like a beacon of a little bit of 2.0, but that freshness of 3.0. Because they're a 3.0 creation, right?
Yep.
Well,
Tim wasn't this way back in 2.0. He was meant to be like a conflict RP character where I just wanted to drive conflict with people by being annoyingly rich and stuck up and snobby and just I wanted to make people upset.
I think we might have RP'd together back when, but your character was like, did you have like a rich sister maybe?
No,
okay, maybe not.
I was a single child.
But yeah, dude, it was so funny. It was one of those things where you could tune into you or Miles' stream and all the clip channels were like putting you guys up. It was just so funny. There was just something always that I think the first time I saw him was when you guys were hiding in somebody's trunk for like 2 hours. What? Yeah, you guys were like in the back of a cop car's trunk for like 2 hours or something.
I think it was DOC. We snuck into prison.
Oh, you did what?
We snuck into prison. We waited in a DOC trunk for 2 hours and then snuck in. That's
so funny, dude.
We managed to get out too. We got out. We had to use guns to get our way out, but
you did it. Nice.
So that was another thing too, and one thing that it didn't exactly start out with this in mind, but we started having roleplay scenarios with the Littlemans, which were not based around a server mechanic. They weren't based around getting in a gunfight. They were wholesome, clean, and essentially it was meant to include as many people as possible, right?
Yeah.
Like we would take a hostage and immediately start asking them questions like, who are you? you know, what are your dreams? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? You know, and then we'd keep that up and actually like get the hostage to do something with, and not be like focused on ourselves or focused on our job or
You're
whatever.
like tricking them into role playing.
Yeah, and then we take them to a bank, and we didn't have any of the materials to rob
Yeah,
it.
you guys would 911 in your own bank calls, right?
We would anonymously say that 2 very large and buff and handsome and rich individuals were robbing the bank, and they had a guy hostage so that there was some urgency, right? And cops would show up, and a lot of the time they'd show up because they knew something like that wasn't an RP opportunity. It wasn't like, oh, it's time for 30th bank robbery of the day starring criminals who just want to get away. It was, oh, here's the one bank robbery we're going to get today starring the Littlemans who don't care if they get away or not. Actually...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No.
I was going to say this kind of segues into something that I would like to talk about, and that is taking an L, and how some people are, I don't know if it's like a hard-coded feeling of like manliness or want to be macho or just always want to be the winner and come out on top, but there is so much good roleplay in taking an L. Like, for instance, 52, you were just talking about how your character, essentially all the Southside gang leaders got together to dump gas on you. Like, you were, through your conflict and your taking an L, you brought some gang leaders together in a shared event to, you know, out this guy who, and like try to punish this guy who has been terrorizing the Southside.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, there's a lot of fun RP in taking an L. So
if I could, I'd kill them all if I could. Screw him. Screw this guy.
We got a school shooter. Don't come to class on Monday, boys. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Well, listen, I don't want to be too braggadocious, but I'm a connoisseur of taking L's. I play Carmine Costello.
Biggest L
9 out
taker
of
in the
10
city.
times, I'm getting ocean dumped. Okay,
It's true.
like
He might
I
have a
don't go
record. He
into
might have an
encounter-
ocean dump record.
It's
I might
possible,
do.
yeah.
I
You
might
just,
do.
Just got that hateable face on that character too.
He
That
plays.
Really helps.
You play Carmine. You're a motherfucker when you play Carmine. That shit is so annoying and it's so good. Like, this is all compliments, by the way. You are such a motherfucker.
Thank
It's
you.
so
thank you.
good.
I will actually agree with that. I was kind of blown away. You know, at first I was like, man, like, who is this guy? Like, he's just trying to drive conflict, and I love it, right? And I remember having to like role play as like, oh man, this guy wants me to hate him.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to like
I feel like people in the server sometimes don't get it. I feel like they don't understand
Whoa.
that Carmine Costello, the character, is being played by someone who wants you to hate him. And they skip that part, and then the player hates him. Right? I feel like there's this like lack of separation that happens sometimes, which is interesting because as somebody who loves verisimilitude, which is like getting really deep inside games and stuff, like feeling part of it, that's amazing because you're like, wow, this is creating like an emotional reaction to a real human being. But on the other hand, like, also, can you please stop hating me and tell your chat that we're all playing a video game?
Yep.
what was that word? Verisimilitude?
Yeah, Verisimiltude.
Bro, word of the day.
Here,
What does it
a
mean?
Conversation later and just dominate the conversation with my incredible intellect.
Verisimilitude, the appearance of being true or real. The details give the novel some verisimilitude.
You know, just was chatting with my peers earlier about verisimilitude. You guys wouldn't understand it. It's kind of a little bit beyond your intellect.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, she's quite Bathycopian, and wouldn't you agree?
Okay, all right.
Obtuse they
Okay, okay, big guy, put the brain away. What are some really, really good situations where you guys took an L, or essentially it didn't work out in your favor, whether that was intentional or not, but you guys had like something really, really good come from it?
I've got two things. Okay, first, I want to circle back eventually. After we're done with this, I want to go back to how 52 got Prio, because I want to know about that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, we can do that now.
Oh, do you want to? Okay.
I mean, I feel like I kind of just pulled this out of my ass. So.
Yeah, okay, keep
ahead.
this.
Yeah,
Let's do yours after. All right, 52. How'd you get Prio?
How did I get Prio? You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I'm not. It might be.
No.
I don't know who.
Can you lie to us? Actually.
Lie to you? Okay, I'm an amazing role player.
It's probably more interesting.
No, I said lie to us.
I got in this really long story arc with Mr. Moon's house and Silent Century, where we took over the underworld, and nobody knew about this because it was super low key. And we had a meeting with all the admins, and they said, you know what, 52, you're gonna be a shadow admin, and with shadow admin comes shadow Prio. Just don't tell nobody about it.
Yeah, the shadow Prio is creme.
Are you breaking your silence?
Is this you coming
no,
out?
Yes, I am.
Are you gonna be killed?
Maybe I am. Who knows?
It was good knowing you.
Are Silent and Charlie gonna cosplay up and come get you now?
God forbid. But all right, the honest answer. I don't know if it was Kyle because I met him on Wild West RP, and he was the one who mainly got me onto the server, or if it was Coop. But all I did on my character before I had Prio was literally be loud and obnoxious until I got noticed, and I got noticed, and then I toned it down. That's how you. That used
smart.
to be the way to get Prio back in 2.0, and this is me being honest.
Yeah, get noticed, and then don't piss people off.
Yeah, like you gotta play very carefully.
Fuck yeah. Is there a person that you like give like kudos to for like getting you the Prio? For like, is there someone that you can point to, go like, without this person I might not be where I am right now?
Probably the guys who went over to Wild West RP when we were playing on there, like Ziggy and who else? Kyle. Who else? There was Anthony Z was there too.
A lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, I found out about Nopixel through them. So that's how I transitioned those. So they'd probably be the the catalyst that brought me on the server.
What about you, Troms? Do you think it's Miles? Do you think it's
well, Miles, because he's part of the team, I definitely have to thank, because I mean, he worked just as hard as I, and for some reason him and I have like this across the world connection where we just share a brain in a weird way, or like we're always just on the same wave, because we will say something or ask a question and then we'll both like answer at the exact same time with the same. It's like we are literally brothers, right? It's so perfect. But the one person who went out to bat for us, he was the one who we'd interacted with a lot, we had done a lot of stories with, we had a lot of fun with, and then I reached out to him one day and like, hey, is there anything you do to help us? And he's like, yeah, you know what, hold on, give me some clips, I'll send them in and we'll see what we can do.
I'm so curious.
Uber Haxor Nova.
Nice.
Very Brittle, Sis Volker.
Nova's
absolute homie, heart of gold. I love the guy. Huge. Just he really went out to bat. He essentially put in a little application like 4 or 5 months into 3.0, and about a month later we got a notice back. Actually, Miles and I both just went to log in one day, found out we could do it before 10 minutes, and we both grabbed each other and jumped up and down with joy from across the world.
From across the world. You
Beautiful.
Grabbed each other's e-hearts and just squeezed.
Yeah, we were both ecstatic.
That's so sick, man. Dude, I feel like Nova, like, I don't want to like put anybody on a pedestal, right? Because if any of us went away tomorrow, the server would keep going. It'd be fine. I feel like at this point, even if something happened to Coil, like there's stuff in place to make Nopixel keep happening, right? But I feel like Nova's like almost like the heart of the server. Like when I think about people who consistently rail against the norm and try to like create interesting, wholesome, sort of broad reaching but very subtle RP, I think Nova does such an incredible fucking job. I think genuinely, like in my heart of hearts, if you ask me to pick the best RPer on the server, it'd be Nova every time. There's just something about, if you watch him, he's never just role-playing. He's always role-playing and also like watching where he's stepping. He's role-playing and like trying to like affect the server in a good way. He's literally like the Gandhi meme, like be the change you want to see in the world. And he like has this whole crew of cool fucking people that spread this goodness out with them. And it's very interesting. They don't force themselves into scenarios. They get people to come to them because they're interested. It's so cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. I remember watching him as like a budding criminal back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but what got me into Nopixel was Moon, right? Like that's how I found Moon. I watched Young Dab. I think a lot of people watched Dab back in the day.
Young Dab was when I really started like paying attention, right? I was watching it before, but Young Dab was when I like started like lasering in. I was there for Young Dab stream #1.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Before the face tattoo.
Yep. Watched him fall off the rail with the ambulance, talking to the people. That he got him to freestyle. He's like, I'm a rapper. Like from the airport. Like I watched him from the airport, you know? Like it was sick.
Before my
Nova,
time.
I agree with that on like Nova and the HOA in general. I feel like a lot of them follow that very same creed of let's not, insert ourselves, let's not be the toughest gang in the city. Let's just we'll do our role play, we'll have people come to us and we'll have a good time with it.
Yep.
It's like you never hear anything bad about Mirror Park or the HOA, right?
Nope. It's always, and when you get included, when you finally get included in that group, whether as an enemy, as a friend, as something in between, dude, it feels so good. You're like, oh, like these are people that like will actually fucking like Mirror Park is like a roleplay haven. I wanted to talk a bit about my Prio. I got Prio in 2.0. I was playing a couple different characters. The main character that I started playing eventually because so my very first character was 55, and then the hobos kind of like broke up, and I was kind of like lost with where to play with 55, and I wasn't getting very much like stream traction, like people weren't coming to like watch. So I was like, okay, I've got to try something else, and I don't want to just like change this character. Like character integrity is really important to me. Like when you pick a character and you give them traits, I think it's important that for the most part you maintain those traits for the sake of like consistency and like role playing verisimilitude, right? It's important that when somebody comes to interact with you, that they know what they're going to get in a sense, right? So I was like, okay, I'll make a new character. So I made an old man. He's like 90. He was in the Vietnam War, right? And his name was Beverly Claymore Hindenburg Waldorf. He was an old man who loved hashish, and he would always go around and collect youngsters, and they would do crimes. And we go, yes, I've got to papa, so I'm going to do a bussa, yes. He was that.
Was always topless too.
Yeah,
and
he was
saggy
the
titties.
character model that's like the vet with like the green jacket, and the like the bald head with the mustache, like the teeth necklace. And so he ended up getting into like this big feud with Mel because he wanted to restart the Prune Gang. And so I had this giant big fight with Mel, and I like talked to Spaceboy. I was like, hey dude, this RP is really funny, but I don't want to try to take this thing unless you're cool with the RP and it happening. And Spaceboy was super sick, and he was like, yeah dude, as long as we're both having fun and we're like, like believing in each other, let's do it. I actually think I ruined that. We can talk about that later though. But so in the process of doing that, he got arrested a lot, and I roleplayed him as an old man. He like wouldn't like leap up things and jump down and climb, and I almost never ran as him, right? So one day, Brian Knight arrests him, and he like has to like go to like a 1031 Alpha or something, which is like an officer down. And he like sends him out the back of MRPD, where there's like the gate and then the hedge. And back then there wasn't a hedge, there was like a wall, and you could jump over the wall in the back of MRPD where you would like bring crims normally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he like left him there. And so Beverly didn't have a cell phone because they didn't give his stuff back. So he stays in the park. I stayed there for 2 hours role playing a dying, slowly dehydrating, like old man.
I remember this.
Finally, like a cop comes in and like goes to, they're like, what are you doing back? And he's like, help Beverly, help, I'm stuck. And they're like, who put you here? And he's like, Brian Knight put me here. And they're like, why? He's like, I don't know. And so they call Brian, and I don't know if you can watch the clips anymore because of the clip Armageddon. Yeah. But you watch the clip of Brian, somebody going like, like 52 to Brian Knight, are you here? And he's like, yeah, just about to leave. What's up? And he's like, do you know Beverly Claymore Hindenburg Waldorf? And he's like, the old guy? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, he's dying in the back of MRP. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, he said you left him here, but he didn't have any way out. And he was like, are you kidding me? And talking to his chat really excited. He's like, he's been there the whole time. And he goes to talk. And he's like, why are you still? And he's like, I'm old. What did you want me to scale the wall? and that was our first like really good interaction. It was so funny. And then later I was playing I had a bunch of shit like that where I would just put him in shitty positions. And later I was like, this was when like permathons were really fun. I had a little bit of traction, you know, I was maybe getting like 10 or 15 viewers. You know, I had like 30 subscribers and it was just like so sick. So I was like, we're going to do a permathon. Okay. I'm going to go play a character. And if they die, I'll let you guys sub or donate to bring them back. Right. And that's like how we're going to do it. And I'll do it for like 3 days or something. And me and I don't remember who, was it you 52? Me and somebody ended up making, hey, these two fucking Italians, they were the Capicola was our last name, okay? If you call us Gabagool, you better be Italian on his face, okay? And we went around and Das Medi was playing a serial killer character that like operated on people. It was like a doctor that like killed people. I didn't know this at all. So me and the Italian brother that are in a permathon are just looking for interactions. So we're scrolling the yellow page and we see, oh, like somebody needs help moving something. Doctor pays good money. So we call him like, hey, what the fuck do you need? He's like, yes, can you meet me at the graveyard for reasons to move something?
Skip roleplay, skip that. Don't want to die.
So, of course, nobody would go to that ever, right? So what do? I go there, right?
Of course.
So I go there, and he's like, oh, there's two of you. It's like, yeah, me and my brother, we're gabagools, you know? And he's like, all right, well, you get in the car, and he'll follow us. That's fine, right? And he gets there, and he fucking takes off. And like the brother's like driving like a minivan or something. There's no way he can keep up. And he ends up taking me off to this place. And the whole time I know he's going to kill me. But I'm role playing like I'm a dumb fucking idiot, you know, just, you know. And eventually I have like so many chances to get away and I don't. Eventually he goes to kill me. Not only does he do like the brain surgery thing, but I can't. He takes me to grandma's house. He puts me on a table and he's doing all this RP. And I can't see any of the slash me's because of the way that he put me on the table. But it's like a really serious moment. So I'm role playing based on what he's saying. And I can't see his slash me's at all. So we're role playing. I'm like covering my mouth and screaming to make it sound real, but not blow everyone's ears out. I'm like really getting into it. And then when I fucking die, I perma. And imagine your DOS meta. You're like, yeah, my fucking serial killer character actually killed somebody. This is great. Then his chat comes over because some of them know who I am. I think one of my chat went over and was like, this guy's played by so-and-so. They're like, did you guys know that he can't see your slash me's? And if you go back and watch the clip, if you can, Medi goes, wait, he did all that and he couldn't see anything? What's his name? And then he does slash OOC and he's like, what's your number right now? And I give it to him and I'm like, is everything okay? And he goes, yep. And then somebody sends me the clip of him giving me Prio 5.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And he's like, the thing he said specifically, like while he's driving away in his car, I remember like this like makes me like tear up a little bit. As he's driving away and somebody goes, oh, that's Hydra, please. And he goes, that's Hydra? And I'm like, oh, dude, to be recognized, to be known, to be seen, like truly, man, what a feeling. Like to this day, like it feels incredible. I will never, I owe Das Many so much. That guy did so much for me without ever realizing. And all he did was like take the time to see and like put the effort in it and go like, I have the power to do this. I'm going to do it, man. Oh, it makes me emotional.
Don't cry. What a good feeling to play a character and then somebody goes, wait, that's so-and-so playing that character? Like, yeah, like you've changed. You're so different from any of your other characters. They go, wait, that's the guy who plays this character, or that's the guy who plays this character, right? Like, that's always a good feeling. Either when you notice it, or when you see it for the first time, or when it happens to you. It's like that's when you know good role play is happening. When people are able to not make, you know, and I hate to say it, I'm going to be the first person to say it for this podcast. When people are not being 100% a self-insert. I think it's unavoidable to insert some of yourself into your character at times. But I do like that when it's like it's hard to recognize that this, you know, these two characters are played by the same person. It's a good feeling to see on the server, and it's a good feeling that it happens to you. So
Yeah, it feels
Yeah,
so
you know
good.
you're doing something right when you're like playing out the character's traits and they can't tell. I'll be honest though, I do have a self-insert trait, and it's me being an asshole on every
It's
character I play back.
ADHD is what that's called, by the way.
But other than that, it feels good. Feels good to get recognized.
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
that's that is a great Prio story.
Yeah, I love it. It's my dude. I genuinely get really emotional. It's so, dude. Okay, like a little about me. I didn't really grow up with a dad at all, and I just grew up with my mom, and so like, and just like a revolving door of people just moving. I moved all over the country. I went to like 9 different like elementary schools in one semester. I don't know what do you call semesters for kids? Like one before, like between summer and summer, right?
It's just a year.
Yeah, so in a year, I guess I just went like 9 different schools, and not because she was just moving all over. She's a crazy person. And so I never had like having like, this is gonna sound weird, but like having a guy like recognize you and like praise you in a way like, dude, it felt so good. Like I'd never had it before. It's like not a thing that I'd experienced. So it was just like super sick. It was like, it just felt like, not like, I'm not saying like I've like daddy issues, or I mean, I do, but not. I'm not saying I like think of like Medi in that way. But what I'm saying is like to be recognized by like that kind of person felt really fucking sick.
Yeah, I feel you. Like having a effort seen and not go unnoticed.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? We were talking about something before
Conflict
Prio.
RP. But,
taking L's, maybe.
I wanted to say, yeah, it was like, it was. I think it was, what was the. Well, at least my question was, what was the best time that you took an L and like something really good came from that? But before we get into that, when I first met you, Hydra, okay, I think this is probably a better topic to go with for something that is like the first of what will eventually be a longer thing, right?
Okay.
And I think introducing us, how we met each other is probably more important. Because I would love to talk about the first time I met Hydra.
Oh God. Well, I don't even.
It was amazing. It was so good.
What was it? I don't even remember.
Okay, so we were both on our way to becoming cops.
So
I had just been hired by Pat Downing for Pat Downing City Security.
I got denied for that,
like
by the way.
working at Alta Street because it was just a lot of impounding cars and a lot of trying to create conflict with people who literally just wanted to get away from the apartment. Back then there was no like, Sweden zone. There was no.
It was a bloodbath.
Yeah, it was. You could still take hostages. You could have shootouts and all that right outside the apartments. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go to the apartments. I didn't want to sit there all day towing cars and telling people don't loiter because the no loitering signs were still there.
Don't loiter, aka get shot in the face.
Yeah, that's why they were there. So I tracked down Willie, and I got Willie to hire me as a PD tow. This is when Willie Glory was still working for PD tow.
Willie and I go way the fuck back, by the way.
I love
Luck
that guy.
too.
His delivery on things is so good. It's so good. He's got such a deadpan delivery, and I love that style of like emotionless. Oh, so
I love that guy.
So I got him to hire me for PD tow. Well, what is now PD tow? Because back then there was no mechanic to it. There wasn't even a tow you could do. That nobody would call you. It was literally what we called lot attendants, and they were like security guards for the lot yard, right? And we would just sit around all day long at the booth. A lot of the times by ourselves because nobody wanted to really do it with us, and we would say hi to cops. Hey, have a nice day. Have a good thing. Don't forget your gear,
because you're trying to like ingratiate yourself with the police. You want them to like you, right? You want them to think highly of you so that you can become a cop.
But
I need to take notes.
Well, Keep listening.
I think I'm doing it backwards.
You didn't want to piss anybody off at that time either. You didn't want to be like, oh, hey, can I get a ride along to every single cop you saw? So it's more or less just getting to meet people, and just having them know who you were, which is really important, right? Like a lot of people, once they meet you, they like you enough, they're willing to go out to bat for you, right? It was a really good RP mechanic for that, even though it was probably the worst, job I think I've ever done on the server.
Absolutely hell.
Horrible. You'd be lucky if a cop would even stop and say hi. So I try to make an effort to do that these days.
That's why you tell them to go fuck themselves, and they always respond after you say that.
They always stop for that one for some reason. I don't know why. One day I'm working the booth, and this guy with a cowboy hat shows up, and immediately we start hitting it off. Like, this guy he's funny, he's silly, he is creative. And I that whole day that we worked together in a lot of attendance, I laughed my ass off, probably harder than I had in a while. Just hanging out with you. It was so good and so refreshing to meet a character, like a new character.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I mean, I'd worked at the Rooster and there were some good characters there. I'd hung out with Miles away on Whitley Booth, so we did our little pirate thing together. But just meeting you and like how funny and creative you were immediately. You would meet someone and then immediately get into this thing. I don't even remember the specifics of it, but you would immediately pull them into some kind of RP. Like you just have this way about you where you pull people into that. You still do as well. Every time we hang out, I notice it. But there's a few times that do stand out. For instance, like a cop would pull up and then we suddenly were just doing like vehicle checks or
trunk
something
checks,
like that.
engine checks, tire checks,
checking their tires, and you would get down and you'd like, oh, looks like the air pressure on your tire is a little bit low. You might want to get that looked at. And you just start coming up with these scenarios that I had never even thought of to do. That we're outside of the realm of have a nice day, cop. Don't get shot. Like these little scenarios that took 30-60 seconds. They were quick enough that a cop would actually stop for them.
I would say like some wild shit too. I'd be like, "There's a bunch of maggots in your trunk."
Like, yeah, that kind of stuff. And then you drop like little the little emojis on the ground for like worms or something like that. Like it was so creative and so wholesome and so funny. I honestly I thought it was great. I had a really good day. There was one scenario I remember specifically was, I don't remember who he was looking for. He was looking for Jaeger. He was looking for Vigor's character. He shows up at the booth, and I don't know why he's at the PD booth looking for Jaeger, but he shows up and he's like, I gotta find Jaeger. It's some random guy. I don't even remember his name.
Oh, fucking my Immortal or something.
Yeah, he definitely had like a My Chemical Romance name or something like that. My name is Evan Essence, and like he shows up and he's like, I'm looking for Jaeger Demon Blood. Have you seen him? Right. And then Hydra, instead of saying no, instead of sending this guy off and be like, yeah, no, I haven't seen him. You were like, yeah, of course I know where he is. Like, yeah, we can get you in touch with him. Here's what you got to do. And then we start walking. You're like, come with us. And we start walking to behind MRPD. We take him to the tunnels and you start going off. You're like, all right, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go down here, go into the tunnels. He's all the way down there. The first thing you're going to see is a set of stairs. You're going to have to climb those stairs. And you just like this whole scenario where
it was like Legends of the Hidden Temple. It was like,
yeah. And then so I realized this. I realized what we're doing to this guy, right? Obviously, as we're like taking him over. And I start playing in on it too. I'm like, all right, on the wall, you're going to see a little hole. What you're going to do is you're going to want to pick up a stick off the ground. You're going to want to stick that stick into the hole. That's going to activate the secret mechanism that turns off the poison arrows. If not, if you get hit by a poison arrow, you've already gone too far, right? Like we're bouncing off each other and we're just having so like good. It was so funny. We sent that guy into the tunnel, and I don't think I
never saw him again. I never saw or heard from him ever again. Dude, I have another story like that. One day,
so good.
Somebody comes to the booth to like try to apply and be hired, and they show me their ID, and their ID number is 6969. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going to be a legend. Why is he going to be a legend? Because I'm going to make him the chosen one. I literally took a picture of it and tweeted out and said, I found the chosen one. I like left, I clocked out, like quote unquote clocked out at the booth, took him down to the pier, and this guy was like on the shoulders of titans. He was being lifted up, and people were like, show me the ID again, show me the ID again. And it turns out that guy was a fucking asshole, and nobody wanted to RP with him. He like,
the irony.
dude, I tried so hard to get him. People were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he was just being like so standoffish. I think maybe it was just like overwhelmed or something, maybe, but maybe he was just role playing as an asshole. But like that character, like nobody wanted to like be around that character. I don't know who the streamer is. I'm not begrudging the streamer. I'm just saying like the character. But it was so like for an hour, people were like, we heard you found the like Chain Gang came down to like, they came down to see the chosen one, right? Oh, dude, it was sick.
That's
fun.
excellent.
I just love doing shit like that with people. I love taking them and like what's it? How do you say? I always say it wrong. I say usurping their expectations, but that's not wrong. But maybe that's more correct for me.
Oh, Miles has a term for this. Expectation subversion.
Yeah, subvert their expectations. That's right. Yeah. I say usurp, but I don't mean to say it that way. I'm just dumb.
Yeah. What I was saying with the booth too goes even further beyond that. Like you literally haven't changed in like what, the year and a half, or something that we've known each other.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Even like FTOing you recently was probably one of the best cadet sessions I've had in a long while.
Is it because I almost pass out from laughing?
Oh, dude, me too. Though I mean, you will actually pass out.
I've literally passed out on stream from laughing. I have a clip.
How you know you're having a good time.
Have you seen this clip?
I want to see this clip. I need to see it.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Keep talking. I'll find it.
I just know that like anytime we hang out, I'm gonna get actual role play, which is difficult sometimes on as being a cop, especially with a lot of cadets who take it very seriously. There's a lot of more serious things that you need to learn as a cop, you know, case laws and all that. And so a lot of people are very, they got like they're kind of like a stick in the mud sometimes when it comes to that stuff. And they forget, you can follow those rules. You can follow your cop rules and still do role play at the same time, which I think you do really well. For instance, we went hunting license checks as some good deputy should.
That was so
we were
fun.
up there. And we did a little bit of a stakeout, a stink op, as some people will call it. We were up on the mountains, saw a guy. He punched 2 mountain lions to death.
I can't believe he did that. That was wild.
He beat them to death with his bare hands. We got pictures. We got video evidence. Well, I didn't have any film in the recorder, but we got pictures. So we go down. We light these guys up. We get them all in cuffs because there's 3 of them together. And the roleplay that came from that, I think I remember you saying something unique. And I don't know how much this would fly with other people, but I loved it. And it was, all right, you two, since you weren't the ones who attacked this mountain lion, you need to tell us what you want us to do with your friend. How should we punish him? And I think they were both kind of like, wait, what do you mean you want us to decide? Like, and we pulled the 2 aside. I had the woman and you had the guy.
I had Reximus.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it was. We pulled them aside and she didn't really give me anything. She's like, I don't know, just arrest him, I guess. Like, what do you want me to say? And I was like, well, I kind of want you to say, let him go or something like that, right? Like, give me something kind of interesting. But just like little things like that, I think really
they
changed.
didn't know what to do. They were like, well, we don't. They basically threw him under the bus. Oh yeah, fuck him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, little things like that, like choosing to make a unique RP situation. It sits so well in my heart. So I love newness. I love when people are trying something that hasn't been done or trying to include others instead of just dominating a situation with their will, right? I think that sits so well. That's so wholesome.
Yeah, especially with a cop and how the dynamic is. Like cops are usually seen as a mechanic, right? Like a response force to what non-cops do. If you can put a creative twist to that type of role play, then you're on the right track.
Yeah, people often will say like how do they say it? They say like a cop's job on the server is to like be the boundary of the server, right? Their job is to like be the force that pushes back against the criminal so that there is that type of roleplay, right? If that's the kind of roleplay you're looking for, which to be fair is true, right? That's part of the agreement we have. Like we push against each other, but for a time, that's why we talk about in 2.0, how being a cop might not have been that great because you just don't get to RP very much. So I promised myself that I would never like do this if I wasn't having fun because it's so important to me. Yeah. And so I always try to like go, how can I make this fun? How can I make this interesting? How can I make myself laugh? And then hopefully other people laugh too. I'm not here to be a comedian in the server. I'm here to like find joy in my heart and like just put it out there and be okay if people don't think it's funny, right?
Yeah.
And then more often than not, you find I've literally had like swarms of people dying of laughter at me because I sound like a fucking alien from Mars Attacks when I'm laughing.
Oh, hyena block.
Hyena block.
Hyena Littleman.
That's my dude. So stanky, like we'll talk about that in a minute. Was like you were saying earlier, like the L taker thing, dude. I made him to take L's, and like Hutch, MF Hutch said it best. R.I.P. to Hutch Hutcherson, by the way. Fucking rip. But
wait,
yeah, Hutch Hutcherson, perma.
Guess who killed him? The PBSO.
Yeah, apparently, I guess they breached during a bank, and he got pissed and perma.
Oh shit! Meta unlock for Troms. I don't think
actually,
he knew.
I heard about the breach. I hadn't heard about the perma.
Yeah. To be fair, I think he was planning to perma for a while because the server's just not where he wants it right now, and he just wants to be able to walk away from it and then come back fresh if he wants to. But he said it best. He said, I can probably try and find the clip because I just clipped the shit because I'm self-absorbed. But he was like, Hydra, I knew the moment I saw stankyleg that I liked you because you were getting your ass beat and you liked it. He was like, Hydra, stankyleg is the kind of character we like here because you take L's and you make it interesting and then you don't get pissed off about it. He said something like that. And he was like, that kind of character is more of what we need on the server. So I'm going to post this clip in the Discord and then I'm going to go to it and then play it. But let's try to like play it at 3, 2, 1. All right, you guys ready?
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna click the link on 1. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1 and click the link. Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready
when you are?
All right. 3,
Ready?
2, 1. Oh wait, hold on. Stop.
Oh no, you're gonna pass out?
Hold on. Wait. Stop. Start it over. I screwed up.
You screwed up.
Yeah, I have to play it in the browser. Unfortunately. All right.
This is great. We'll include a link for this somewhere.
Yeah. 3,
so other people can
2,
see this as well.
1.
Who is this that you're with?
Ow!
Oh no.
There it is. I'm gone.
I just passed out.
I think I just passed out.
What?
That was fast.
Yeah.
No, wait. I think I actually just passed out.
I think I just passed out. That's great. Whose
That's
shoulder are you
that's
on?
the LGX.
Oh, okay.
Bryce Miller, dude.
OG Bryce Miller.
I can't focus.
LGX is great.
Just listen to him laughing too, though. Dude, making people laugh around me makes me so happy.
I think I just passed out.
You were actually gone.
I was
like,
gone,
you
dude.
checked
I'm
out.
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 It's so
Good luck.
fast, dude.
That's crazy.
When someone, yeah, dude, that was wild.
I've definitely had some situations with you where in character you had to tell me, stop, I'm going to pass out. Do not make me laugh any harder. Please, you will kill me.
So I don't know if it's because I have Tourette's or if it's just the way that I laugh, but I like laugh with like my whole soul. It's all coming out, and it
Yeah, I
like
can hear it. You're wheezing like all the air in your lungs out.
I definitely have found that because of like doing Nopixel on a regular basis and either always trying to make myself laugh or trying to make somebody else laugh. Again, not because I'm trying to be a comedian, just because that same kind of joy. Like I want people to have fun. I want people to have joy in their hearts and just to enjoy themselves, because at the end of the day, It's just a video game. We're all here to have fun. We're just playing this video game to have fun, right?
Yeah.
And so I definitely feel like I've laughed so hard that it's been a workout. Like I will be sore later from laughing so hard.
The missus trying to get frisky. You're like, I can't. I was laughing too hard today. I'm sorry. It's not. Dude, Troms. There's this thing. Okay, we need to talk about L's after this, but I want to say this real quick. There's this thing that happens when you're around. People love you.
Oh, come on.
Dude, they fucking love you. When you walk into a room, it's like when like a dog owner like shows up at the dog place, all the dogs are like, oh, human? That's the response you get. Everybody loves you. Everybody's like, oh, that's my moose bid. And you're like, I don't know who you are. But honestly, more often than not, you do know who they are because you put time and care. Dude, you love these people. Like, you put that out there and they love you back. And it's so, like, what a more rewarding experience, dude. Genuinely, like, from the bottom of my heart, I wish I had what you have because these people love you so fucking much.
You're that guy, Troms. You're that guy.
You're the
that guy. I didn't think I was.
You're the guy, man.
I will, like, I definitely enjoy that people like my character, but at times I feel like it gets a little stale. And I want ways to push more conflicts, but it's hard when you don't want to, burn bridges or like ruin relationships with people who you actually legitimately like, right? So
yeah,
sorry.
That's like one of my biggest issues. Like if I played my character out completely, like all his traits, I feel like I would have been stonewalled from like 100 RP avenues.
Yeah,
So,
that's a thing. That's a
I
thing
know
that
how
can
you feel
happen.
there.
Oh yeah, there's it's like when it comes to being like a hated character, there's balance, like a lot of balance. I've seen people lose it instantly. They'll say something way out of pocket and then suddenly they're just sorry, that was my alarm. They'll say something way out of pocket and then suddenly they're just blacklisted. Like nobody wants to help them out with anything. Nobody wants to get them into anything.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's like, I can't even like imagine a scenario in which I say something that like makes groups not want to RP with me because I'm so cautious to provide a mutual fun experience. Like that's when I bring RP to the table every time, I'm like, how can I have a fun cooperative experience with these people? That's why I roleplay. I roleplay because I don't want to be on Call of Duty fucking shooting heads right now. I could be clicking heads, but I don't want to be. It's fun and I like it, but I don't get rewarded the same way that I get in RP.
I agree with that. I think it's definitely difficult to find a balance of what is fun, what pushes a roleplay scenario, but what doesn't piss people off enough that they don't want to roleplay with you.
Yeah, I think that's why 52 Chainz is so fucking perfect on the server. Dude,
I agree with that.
You're so good at pushing people's buttons in a way that they come back for more, right? You're pretending you're negatively reinforcing things, but really you're positively reinforcing things. Dude, you are an absolute artist of being a cunt.
I have years of experience. What can I say? They think it's a character. No, it's just me. Self-insert. But I put a twist to the voice.
This dude's a fucking he's like a, what is it? An ice pick. You're like an ice pick of assholery. Like you hit him with it, and then they're like, that kind of hurt, but it's not that bad. But I will die.
I'll be honest though, like not all encounters go well. Like out of 5 times where I interact with someone, one of those times I end up getting ocean dumped for the most trivial shit.
You've got such a good attitude for that too.
I do, but it occasionally gets to me. That's why I don't stream, because I don't want to have an outburst mid-stream. So I worked at the casino, right, on Carmine for months, 8 months or so. And like almost all the encounters there at the beginning were actually fun because it was the first time I was having these type of dynamics, and it felt fresh, it felt interesting. But over the months, I run into similar type archetypes. Guys with masks,
the badasses
running in with class tools, and I know exactly how it's gonna go. I'm gonna approach them. When I tell them, hey, you can't have that mask or that class 2 on you, they're gonna either pull a gun or tell me to fuck off. And as a civilian, my only options are to call the cops, right? There's been so many times where I haven't had cop responses because it's like either mid NA or early EU, and after like it builds up and it gets to you, which is why I just fucking I left the casino and I'm doing something else, you know. New
The
approach.
cool and tough criminal archetype.
Yeah,
I've got an AK-47. I just go around with it to the supermarket to just wear that. I feel like when it comes to that sort of stuff, this is something I brought up with a couple of the boys as well, is that something got lost in like the transition from 2.0 to where 3.0 is now with criminals and gangs and stuff like that. Some feeling of being afraid,
the fear,
got
it's not
lost.
there anymore.
The, you know, having a class 2 on your back or doing crime, it's like not a whole lot of people actually even put on a voice for doing their stuff anymore. They're not afraid of getting a warrant. Like there's just some level of, oh shit, I could get in trouble for this, that didn't transition properly to where we are now. And I think that's kind of sad because in a sense it diminishes the cops, as we spoke about earlier. The cops, if we, you know, break it down, a fundamental element of the cops on the server is to make it so that crime is exciting. It's exciting to do crime because you could get caught, you could have jail time, you could go away, you could lose stuff, right? Like you lose progress, but there's it's like risk and reward, right? Cops versus robbers. It's this clash. But something was lost. Some feeling of, oh shit, I might get a warrant. Oh shit, they might catch me. It isn't there anymore for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there are still people who very much play it that way. They don't want to get caught. They want to role play actual penalties and things like that. But it's just sad. It's, in a sense, it's kind of sad to see. Sad to see that element of realistic thought processes when it comes to being a criminal. And I think we've moved further away from being a somewhat realistic roleplay server with cops and robbers to being a Grand Theft Auto, like in the story, the world of GTA. Right?
The reality has different rules here, right?
Yeah.
And we always had some. We always had like, oh, you don't really die. Some people die sometimes, but you don't really die. But like there's consequences. Early 3.0, man, there were so many consequences about even having like a gun, you know? And 100% about exactly what you're saying. We can loop this into the L conversation because I have a lot to say about stankyleg. So for people that don't know, all three of us are actually in Nopixel. One of our characters are hired as the police department. I'm 669 PBSO John Hydra. Troms is 350 William
Moosebeard.
William Thatch.
William is a therapist.
Oh, it's
I've never met him
Edward
in
Thatch. Sorry,
character.
Edward Thatch. My bad. Yeah, Edward Thatch.
Yeah. But I know the guy out of character we've talked before.
Dude, I almost permaned a character once, and I asked them to call Moosebeard, but they called the wrong Thatch, and so I didn't perma because you didn't show up. I was gonna perma John Hydra.
Oh shit!
But
Good thing you didn't show up.
Yeah, they literally messaged the wrong one. I was 100% gonna perma. And 52 just got hired as a cadet on Costello.
And guess what my call sign is?
What's that?
Take a guess.
555.
578.
No.
What?
552.
52, of course.
Right
Duh.
over your heads.
Duh. That's good.
And it's a best 10 code too, because you know that 10 codes
Because for
means that
52s
you
as
got
well.
shit
Yeah,
done.
we need 52s.
Okay.
Yeah, you fucked them
when you're
up.
calling the 52s in, you know it went well.
It deepens even further.
But yeah,
Hey,
we can
call
talk.
52 to get 52s.
Yeah, we can. That's good actually. Damn. Let's talk more about cop stuff later. But I want to talk about taking L's like we were talking about earlier. We finally circled back. I made Gandalf Butters, aka stankyleg. who was just a suburban white kid who wanted to move to the city and become a gangster. He like that was his heart. He was an MIT about to graduate with like honors, and just in his heart of hearts, he knew that he just couldn't make it in this world that way. It wasn't what he wanted. He just wanted to be a gangster. So he moves to Los Santos and tries to be a gangster. Start telling people he's a gangster. He dresses up in like hood clothing, which is just like baggy clothes that don't fit, and like Vans, because he's a fucking idiot. And he spends all of his money on a gold chain. That's why he always has that gold skull chain. I just wanted to take L's over and over again, and I ended up doing that. And I play him as like very like incompetent, but imagine like a very smart incompetent person, right? That's kind of how I try to play him. And what we were talking about earlier with like the no consequences thing, one of the things I experienced with stankyleg was that I kept having a lot of fear playing him because he did not want to get caught doing crimes. He wanted to do crime, but not get caught doing them. And I kept having this like weird thing. Like there was this weird disconnect where like I kept not being able to like follow through with stuff. Even when he like officially joined the blocks as Hyena Block, like from like Mike Block was like, yeah, you're a block now. I was like, okay. Even when he joined the blocks, he still didn't want to get caught. He was like the only block that wasn't in debt, right? And some of the other blocks would say he's like not a real block because he has money. And what I just realized while you were talking was like, oh, that's why he wasn't thriving, because he had this fear of consequences. And with the climate of the server the way it is, if you have a fear of consequences, you just can't succeed, because the key to success is to jump into a volcano and hope you make it out the other side with a bag of money. Yeah. And stankyleg just isn't willing to jump into a volcano.
Yeah. You're going to jump into the volcano and find a canoe.
Yeah.
Paddle your way out of there.
That's kind of what like robbing a Fleeka is like. Imagine in real life. Dude, I was thinking, imagine if the police in Nopixel were like, okay, what is it? Is that who takes the guns from people?
Yeah. Class 2's under
fuck
mandate.
Those guys.
Yeah. Class 2's under mandate. Imagine instead of like kindly asking people to give guns back, imagine if we all showed up with ARs and surrounded them with cop cars and said, don't move or we will shoot. And took the guns and then took them to jail and then put them in prison for a fucking long time with a really big fine. Imagine if we like forced them to not carry their guns on their back. That, dude, thinking about that feels like, oh shit, that would be wild. But why would it feel wild? That's normal. Nobody walks around with a fucking AK on their back.
Yep. And if you did do that, it would probably,
Sorry.
it would probably end up on a Reddit thread, if we're being honest.
I think I'm going to talk to Kyle in character about it. I'm going to be like, listen, Moosebeard's gone and I'm basically his daddy, so here's what I think he'd want. Oh, let's talk about you, Troms. Let's talk about you.
Little old me?
Little old you. Not banned, not unwhitelisted, but fired from PD. Oh, I actually I misspoke earlier. There's actually only 2 people here that are working at the police department.
Suspended. I'm back.
Oh, suspended officially?
Yeah, no, that it got. So for those of you who don't know, involved in a minor situation. I don't want to speak too much on it, but let's just say I may have a fear of cones now. In and out of character. Yeah, unbreakable cones. It wasn't my fault. I was too close to it, and I probably should have been a little bit more responsible. But along with that came some consequences, which is fine. I mean, I'm not perfect.
Can you talk about specifically the mechanic of the cone and what happened and what the result was?
So the PD now has, we've had this for a while, but the PD has a barrier function where you can place down a barrier. And prior to a while ago, they were just breakable barriers. They break really easy, actually. You like walk into them and sometimes they just explode. But then they came up with these barriers you could place down that were essentially concrete walls. And they could break if you hit them hard enough, but a lot of times they wouldn't. And so, I goofed with them. We had PD access on the Littlemans for a little bit, so we put a We put one on like Power Street in San Andreas or something like that to goof around with. Because that's the Littlemans way. We're kind of trolls in a sense, and we were using our PD access for very nefarious deeds. We're just searching people at random. Like, we were not following SOPs at all.
The intent was never to like be a long-standing member of the PD, right?
100%. Like,
the fact you guys made it in is hilarious.
If there's any cops listening right now, we may have a lot of PD equipment in our apartments, stuff that we brought home, every day after
from
work.
Like the trash evidence or something.
From the trash locker.
Oh,
Yeah, we brought
so
a lot
good.
of broken guns home. So it's funny. Miles came up with this idea because he got us both like some drugs from the trash locker. So he's like, I'm gonna get a notepad, and on the notepad he put down like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and each day he listed like where we were gonna traffic guns to or where we're gonna traffic drugs to or something. So that when we get raided, someone's gonna read this note and be like, oh, these guns are meant to be trafficked. Like, these guys are weapons trafficking and drug trafficking. So that adds some like real consequence to if we actually end up getting raided. Anyway, so
funny.
Long story short, I was with another officer. I don't know if he wants his name spoken, so I won't. Who placed a cone down to troll another cop. We had seen a cop who was taking the jewelry store jump just off of Dorset and Palomino or something like that. He was taking it over and over again while they were chasing after Vingle, I think it was, because Vingle, for whatever, I think he got suspended or something like that. And so they were chasing him around to try to talk to him, and he didn't want to talk. So he was fleeing on a scooter. So to troll, I think it was Peach who was driving the car. This other officer put a cone down on the jump.
Peach played by Jenny Bear.
Jenny Bear, love Jenny so much. Anyway, we put the cone down and then we drove off. And we didn't go back for the cone. And when he went back a little bit later to get the cone, for whatever reason, he couldn't see it. And so he thought somebody already removed it. Turns out, a day or two later, the cone is still there.
They lasted through server resets?
They last through server resets.
Whoa,
they are
shit.
permanent. They're like, you remember the rainbows from the private?
Yeah, I see. Okay,
They're
okay.
the same mechanic as that. Just
Jesus.
like a big invulnerable thing that you put down. The hidden are doing a robbery of some kind. They're in a getaway Subaru, I think. They hit it. They go to take the jump. It's got like a render distance, so they don't even see the cone until they're like 30
on
feet
top
from
of it. It's too late to react.
So the cone was hidden from the hidden. What a shame.
Yeah. So they hit it. The good friend of mine, Deluxe4, who I've watched for years and I really respect, hits it. He's not super upset, but their car breaks, and so they get out and they start running, and they do end up getting away. Nobody's too upset after the moment. But PD was not happy.
Yeah.
So consequences came from that. To sum things up, not fired, suspended, and I will be back on Moosebeard. Plan to change things up since it was an out of character punishment.
Have you
I'm allowed to come up with what I want.
Oh yeah.
Or like why I was gone. So Miles and I, because he got in trouble for placing the Littleman cone as well. So
so you guys are kind of you have some wiggle room here to RP.
So
that's good.
We're gonna make some role play out of it, and I think Moosebeard is gonna come back a little bit harder because of what we have planned.
Nice.
It's actually been surprisingly refreshing. And
dude, you've been thriving.
I shouldn't be happy that it happened because, again, I fucked up. I'm not perfect. I will make mistakes. I have made mistakes. I'm 100% willing to own that. And I think
dude,
anybody
you were Spider-Man in this scenario. You were Spider-Man after he fought Bonesaw. Right? You watched him run by, and then your Uncle Ben died. And that you feel guilty, but you didn't do it. You just didn't stop someone from doing something.
Right. I wasn't responsible enough, which again, my fault. It's whatever. Should have been more responsible. Who cares? What's done is done. But how things have kind of progressed since then have been really good because the first thing I noticed is like, man, I'm not like Moosebeard is suspended. I have a lot of role play here for what I want, what I can do, like how I can play this, like where I can take it, who I can hang out and interact with is like a off-duty cop who's role playing suspended, right? Or opportunity to play other characters, to try something new. And so it's become difficult to see anything but the positives. You know what I mean? And I think maybe a lot of that comes from my mentality of it, where, you know, I do treat it as though it's a video game, as though I'm just here to have fun. And so I'm not going to be upset about, one, what could become a really cool roleplay scenario, but two, what is literally just a game. It's you know, the punishment in a game.
Yeah, as long as you're not,
I had to take it, but
they didn't like ban you. That was, I think, the big fear, was like being banned from the server. And once that's not there anymore, you weren't whitelisted. You weren't unwhitelisted. And once you're not unwhitelisted, or like not unprioed, then it's like, okay, I can roll with anything. As long as my like livelihood and like the thing that I'm doing is not being taken away, I'm fine with that. A small punishment. By the way, you've taken this with such grace, and you've put like no negative energy out there. Your stream numbers are like a little lower some days, but some days they're exactly where they were before, and you're like playing weird shit, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't live in that negative environment where I'm gonna start throwing hate at somebody, because literally it's, at the end of the day, it's my fault. It's not anybody's fault but mine. I made the wrong choice, and I'm gonna accept that. So it is what it is. So I appreciate you saying that, though. That's
you're crushing, man. I think it's so cool that you're crushing and keeping it going and not letting it get you down. I think this would like emotionally destroy a lot of people, but you've got a lot of emotional maturity, so it's coming from that. So because of that, I got you a gift, and by got you I mean made you.
You made me something. Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah.
That's right.
Don't tell me it's a code. Don't tell me
Oh, better not be. They already haunt my dreams. Please. I've been like violently attacking cones on all my characters.
So if you look at
like
the podcast section, you have some options here.
No way, dude. There's no way you made this.
It's beautiful.
You're kidding me.
No.
I'm imagining all the people that are gonna mold if they see that.
Dude.
It looks beautiful.
Isn't it perfect?
I love it.
Oh no. I can't believe you did this.
I can't believe you've done this. Dude.
I can't believe you've done this.
The second I found out about it, I made that.
Oh, who told you about it?
Beautiful.
I found out on Reddit. I found it on Reddit because it was like the cone incident. I was like, what is this? Because I always look at the GTRP clips section, because even though all the streamers hate it for some reason, I still watch the clips because I think they're interesting. I don't watch streamers typically play GTRP, but I watch clips every now and then because there's some funny shit.
Send me a. Do you just have the small version? Because I'm gonna put this.
Yeah, I just made the small version. I didn't make the bigger ones because I didn't have. So if you can embiggen that, probably.
Embiggen, I love it.
Big fire.
I'm not a fan of the GTA Reddit, not for what it is, mostly because I play on Nopixel. At least before, before this was mentioned, I was playing on Nopixel 6 days a week. Like, I was literally on there so much. And this is something I kind of learned from Spaceboy, or at least I follow the same creed he does with that. I get on, I do my time on Nopixel. I might look at some funny clips afterwards, or just look at some clips in general, but then I check out. I don't want to like.
Yeah, that's
look
what
at it all night.
I don't like, especially if it's about me. I'm like very self-centered, so I'll like skim the comments. I'll like good, bad, not reading that, good. I don't mind criticism, right? But
Yeah.
when people get really shitty on there, and I think that these are the people that don't really participate in a lot of the chats. I think these are the people that like don't have the right social skills to be part of people's communities in Reddit. They're like, people call Reddit communities, but they're not really. They're kind of like subways. You just go in there, you get the thing, and then you leave. And there's these people who just like have all this like vitriol and hate, and they put it out there. And then these big streamers like they see a lot of it, because the bigger you are, the more eyes you have on you, the more comments you read about yourself. It wears on you. there's like a thing about like losing $5 has more of an emotional impact than finding $20, right? Like the negative like takes up more space in your brain.
Yeah, you tend to focus on it. Especially like if you see a flood of positive comments and you just see one calling you a dickhead, you tend to like
True.
zone in on that one.
How
It
many times-
happens to me a lot too.
How many times have you seen a streamer have just a river chat flowing? And everyone's like, "Oh, we love you. You're so funny. This is so great." And one person's like, "I don't like the way you're role playing." They're like, "Stop the stream. Stop the stream. You don't like my role play?" It's like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Conflict RP.
I feel like there's two type of people that do that. Some who are like overly invested and want the narrative to go a certain way, and when it doesn't, they take it out on whoever it was that subverted that. And two is someone who just wants to be noticed for a little bit.
Ooh, 1 second real quick. For the audio listeners, sorry about that. That was our first episode. Cut us some slack, please. The thing that I made for Troms is I made him an emote that looks like his emotes, and I added a traffic cone on top of his head. So it's like an oh shit face with a traffic cone on the head. Like as a hat.
It looks amazing.
It's really good. It's so good. Well, they probably throw a link to that somewhere next to wherever that clip was.
Yeah.
I don't know how the links will work, but they'll be somewhere.
Yeah, I'll have them in the show notes.
You can find them.
You will find. I believe
You
in you.
can
You can
find
do
them.
this.
So overly invested roleplay viewers and players is kind of one of the reasons why I check out as soon as I'm done on the server. There's actually a bunch of reasons that I think are really beneficial for doing that. One, you don't get meta. You don't get any like meta info that might change even the slightest bit how you interact with a situation. Whether it's
for
your
example,
character or your own knowings. Right.
A great example of that is the other day they are giving cash rewards for anybody that writes 2 traffic stop tickets in one day. You get a cash reward on your next pay period. The instant that meeting was over, people were like, "Ooh, don't pull me over, Kappa. I know you got a quota." And we're like, "We just came out of the meeting. Like, how do you know this? Like, what the fuck?" And then it just takes one person watching the stream, even if they're not on the server yet, going, "Oh, I'm just watching Kyle. You know, it's fun. Let's watch Pred." And they see that, and then they go on their friends and they go, "Oi, mate, don't fucking speed if there's cops around. They have a quota now." And now one person has meted for the whole server, and it's like spreads out, and now everybody knows. It's just like a weird thing.
Yeah.
So I agree for checking out. I think it's a really good policy.
There's also FOMO, which is fear of missing out.
Fear of manly orchids. Oh.
A lot of people. I think a lot of viewers, and I think I, in a sense, kind of suffered from this when I first started watching GTA, was I wanted to know what was going on with all the people who I was interested in. So as I hopped from stream to stream, I was seeing what's going on. I was looking at other people's perspectives. There was like a weird level of that fear of missing out on what was happening that I think it was difficult to get over, and a lot of people suffer from it because they just want to know. They just want to know. They get invested. They get into their characters. They get into and I don't think that it's just viewers. I think that players themselves also have this, you know. It's difficult to explain unless you're like actually in it, unless you're a viewer or a player, right? Like what that feeling is like or what that actually means.
So you're talking about like they get like super invested and they have this kind of FOMO of like being involved with the thing. And is that kind of where we're at?
Yeah. It's like you go and you read the Reddit to find other people's takes on it, or you want to see another person's perspective, or, you know, like you'll watch your streamer and then you'll go watch the streamer
this is the second monitor with 16 tabs meme, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's you want to see all the people he's interacted with. What was their reaction to this guy or anything like that?
Which I think is so cool that we have the ability to see that. I grew up watching TV. I love watching like series Netflix series, whatever. I love it. If I could see things from different perspectives, sort of at will, dude, that would be so sick. You know, imagine you're watching season 1 Game of Thrones and you're like, oh, what's so-and-so doing at this point? Change over, watch their perspective. Incredible, amazing. But then they have the ability to fucking chat. And I almost feel like you should be like, okay, I'm signing up to chat in my streamer's chat and then nobody else's. Because they go over and
Daenerys Targaryen.
They say weird out-of-pocket shit to the other streamer because they've got all this sort of emotional buildup for their streamer. And that's when like this, they might not even like mean to be an asshole, but they're like, oh, I didn't like the way you arrested. That seems kind of weird. Will you get in trouble for that? So it's like, why are you talking here? Like, this isn't your community. This isn't your people. Go watch the thing. Enjoy it. Even compliment the streamer. Like, yo, hilarious. Dude, you arrested my streamer. Super funny. Loved it. Good job. Like, that's fine. But they get emotional and they get mad. And they're like, my streamer's going to kill you. Or I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to come to your house at 1, 2, 3, 5th place and kill you. And you're like, okay, dude, like,
Jeez,
we're all just watching video games, guys. Please relax. And it's just like this huge emotional explosion. What's that?
For me, like the worst kind of comments are the passive aggressive ones where they're trying to fuck with you, but they say it in a way that they don't get banned. And if you were to respond to it, you come off as looking crazy. Those are the ones I hate the most.
Do you have a good example? Can you think of one?
When I was working at the casino, like, who was it? I don't remember who it was I interacted with. I'm thinking it's one of the Vagos. I'm not even sure.
The Vagos, yeah, you and the Vagos had like beef.
I have beef. Carmine has beef with name a criminal group.
True.
They probably hate me. It's whatever.
I love I love it so much. I'm sorry, keep going.
I had someone hop over and say, you play this character so well, but sometimes you're too annoying. And that shit got to me one day, and I kept thinking back to that, and it just killed my mood. It killed my mood. I toned everything down. I didn't even speak to people. I just hopped off after that.
I know
Those
exactly.
type of comments fuck with me, man.
Yeah, I know exactly why that fucking happened too. Not that scenario specifically, but any scenario like that. You're role-playing Carmine. Vagos is role-playing Vagos number 3. Vagos number 3 walks in the thing. This is his 4th time interacting with you. And he goes, this fucking guy is still here. Like, it's so annoying that he's still here. I hate this guy. And really what he's saying is, my character gets annoyed by this character because he's stopping him from doing the thing. And I, as the player, would like him not to be here because then I could go gamble, which is why I'm here. But this is roleplay, and that's fine. Right? That's really like the dialogue that's happening. And then, but the words that he says out loud are, I fucking hate that this guy's here. And then his stream goes, we hate this guy.
Good
right?
That's another reason I left the casino, because it's a mechanic people use to unwind after. It's like it's a chill out hub for like when people are done role playing, they go there just to gamble. And I don't want to like run into people who are done role playing, because role playing with someone who's done role playing it just feels so fucking awkward.
Yep.
So yeah, I love the casino. I love the dynamic there, but I feel like that there's over. Oh yeah.
I love that Carmine's a cop now. All those people that fucking hate you when they find out you're a cop. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking good, bro.
When they say or what, I shoot them. Did you?
Or what? Taste. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to talk to Kyle in character about like going hard on people like with class 2s in the wild. And we're like, dude, it's the wild fucking west out here, brother. Like, what are we doing? I might try to like set up a meeting with like high command or something and like have a talk. They really don't give a fuck, but the thing is, I don't know what they're thinking out of character. They have plans and guides, but I don't know. That's the other thing. Can we topic change?
Yeah.
I have a topic change. This is going to be like a little touchy, okay? This is going to be like, this is the one that's going to show up on the Reddit clips, okay?
Oh, God.
All right.
Please, I've been on Reddit enough as it is.
People get scared of talking about their bands. People get scared.
Some of them you're actually not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, so if you have like certain things like with other people, you're like, hey, let's keep this between us. But
no, some of them, the admins literally just say, don't talk about that.
That's weird, right? Isn't it
is a
weird
little
that you're not
strange,
allowed?
yeah.
If you get banned for something, you should be able to go, hey guys, I got banned for calling so-and-so a bitch. And she said, please don't call me a bitch. I don't fucking like it. And you called her a bitch anyway, and that's why they banned me. So I was accidentally, like, misogynist. I thought I was role-playing and having fun. I didn't read the cues correctly, and I'm really sorry. I'm not going to name the person, but you know who it is. But then your stupid fucking viewers go, streamer, you are a bitch. Like, it's like, dude, like, and so that's why we can't talk about it. I get it, right? I understand.
Right.
But there's this,
Inciting.
there's a genuine fear that I feel like shouldn't exist. I feel like there's like a certain amount of humanistic compassion that is lacking when stuff like this happens. I could feel you going, oh, I can't talk about this too much. Let me like carefully navigate this thing. And I'm not saying we don't need careful navigation and social cues and like to be like emotionally mature, but sometimes it feels like when you are under the gun in Nopixel, like you're like, oh, I might just lose my career here, so I can't say anything. It's scary. It's just a scary thing that like doesn't. I guess it's kind of like working in an office. Like you wouldn't say some out of pocket shit in an office because you just get fired, right? So I guess it's kind of similar. But I've never heard of somebody being disciplined in an office going like, oof, can't talk about it. like I feel like maybe there should be like a more like sharing, like, hey, this is like the ban is finally over. Like I was banned and I don't want to talk about it. That's fine. I guess if somebody else is involved, that's why you can't talk about it, like I drew out earlier. But if it's just you doing some dumb shit, like, like Tiger, he just got banned, right? I don't know this guy. I've never seen him before I saw the Reddit clip. I guess he was using a glitch in the game. He was abusing a mechanic wherein when you pull your gun out, you're class 2. If you put it away, if you pull out your phone and then immediately spam your gun button and pull it back out, it like refills your reserve ammo. Mm-hmm. And he was doing it like a lot. And he was doing it to the point to where this is just what I observed. I'm not saying I have no idea what this guy's intentions were, to be clear. I'm just saying what I saw. So it looked like he did it several times and would intentionally quickly like hit P to pull out his phone and then spam 2 to pull out his class 2. And then he would have more ammo. But he had ammo boxes on him, and his buddy was like, oh, I need some ammo. So he gave him an ammo box. So it's kind of a weird scenario wherein people are like, he definitely did it on purpose. And like, that's not my job. He got banned. So the admins have banned him for a reason. We don't know what the reason is, but we can assume.
Right.
But like, this guy was banned and like, didn't say a word about it. He's like, I was banned, reapply in 30 days.
You got to think about the admin's perspective too, right? Because the admin's the one who has the final say, who put the hammer down, the judge, jury, executioner. It's to protect them as well, right? Because like if you talk about it and say it's, this guy's got a huge following or something, who knows what kind of person is going to be like, I need my boy back, give him back, and attacks the admins for whatever reason, right? Like, so it's to protect them too. And they do a lot of behind the scenes work that does keep server health pretty high. But I mean, I guess I agree with it. You should, some people should be more open about it. I have had full, over what's happened with us, we've had full authority to speak about it. I've just chosen to be less specific. In fact, this is probably one of the first times I've actually like said what the event was itself. Simply because I didn't want anybody to get any hate. I didn't want anything to happen to anybody or somebody to be upset for whatever reason. I just didn't want to foster that. So I was, I didn't specifically say what happened. I gave clues. I people obviously found clips and things like that. And I'm sure that's how most people find out how bans occur, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if I 100% agree. Like, oh, we should always be talking about it, right? But I do feel like there is a little bit of a stigma there, where, but I feel like it's for a good reason.
Yeah, you've actually, honestly, you've walked me back a little bit. I guess I haven't been in that position, and I hadn't considered that everybody involved, especially if it's somebody popular, right? everybody involved just gets a flood of just like bullshit. Even if it's not hate, or even if it's just like unban so-and-so, free so-and-so, that shit's exhausting, I bet, to see over and over. You're role playing and you're talking with your regular chat and there's 1,000 new people in here saying free so-and-so, free so-and-so, free so-and-so. It's like, dude, fucking stop.
Yep.
Yeah, I can kind of get that.
I get that too. I was thinking, you remember how Wild West RP's ban system, report system was set up? It was all public.
Yeah.
Everyone could see, and you know when admin made the judgment, you knew what the status quo and that certain rule break was. It specified and everything.
I kind of liked that.
Points and everything. Yeah, I can see it working on servers that are not like Nopixel, because Nopixel has huge audiences.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Is I didn't really consider
yeah.
the scope of Nopixel, right?
Yeah, and if all that is out there, the amount of hate that'll be going left, right, and center for people reporting other people, or you know, someone getting permanently banned because of so and so reporting them, it's just gonna get out of hand really fast.
Yeah.
I don't see that working with how Nopixel is now.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. The scope it's so big, dude.
It's too much to consider. Too many people involved.
I would like to take this time to let any advertisers know. This is about when your advertisement will be played. This is what we call a mid-roll, when the viewers are most engaged. If you were going to listen to an ad right now, it would be this. It would be me talking, maybe Troms, maybe 52 Chainz. These guys would get a second to go use the restroom. I would read the ads. We would go from there. It would go something like, today we're so happy to be sponsored by 52 Chainz. 52 Chainz is so cute.
You boy.
He always comes in here with his cute lips and his big, beautiful eyes, and he gives us everything that we need. Imagine having 52 Chainz at your home. He could just kiss you on the lips whenever he wanted. Wouldn't that be great? So, remember, if you want 52 Chainz in your home, go to 52 Chainz is the best. We love to kiss him on the lips. .png/Yespixel. Thanks so much to 52 Chainz for kissing us on the lips.
No problem. Now I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's just me. Give me a second here. I believe Troms has just messaged me, perhaps. No, he hasn't. So let's talk about stankyleg a little bit. I started playing stankyleg because I wanted to take L's and farm conflict. And it worked. And somewhere along the way, I met Abdul as stankyleg. And Abdul really liked stankyleg. They liked each other. Good guy. Yeah, I love Abdul.
I love Abdul.
Then Abdul introduced stankyleg to Tommy T on his first day on the server, played by Zerka of God, what's their YouTube channel called? Sidemen? Of Sidemen fame.
Steve, I didn't know he's from Sidemen. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is like his thing. Then they had a bunch of like sort of fun, playful, accidental conflict because stankyleg's his whole thing is that he's like incompetent, right? He's very smart but very incompetent. They ended up cutting his ear off. It was really fun and cool. stankyleg technically has one ear. The one he wears is a prosthetic. Because there's no way to... Because I can't get somebody to make me a model with just one ear.
Right.
And from there, something magical happened. All of the Tommy T viewers, when he wasn't on, would like come to the other like Mandem at the time. There wasn't really a Mandem yet. It was like Adam Ababwa, Remy Brown, played by Rems, by the way. We miss our boy. Shout out. And the guys, and then they would come to me. So I would literally be starting my stream with 80 viewers. I made $3,000 3 months in a row from these guys. This was like the most money I've ever made in my life. I've always worked like shitty. I have this really big, like, your work should revolve around your life shouldn't revolve around your work sort of thing. Like, unless you like deeply love being at your job, you shouldn't spend as much time there. And even then you probably shouldn't spend as much time there as you are.
Life's too short for that. To do the things that you like really hate or really don't enjoy. Do enough to stay alive, obviously. Work to live, don't live to work.
Yep. My whole life anytime anything's ever been good, it's been taken away from me. So I'm always waiting for the carpet to be pulled out from under me and I have to start from the ground up. It's my whole life. It's my whole fucking life. So when these guys came for the first month, I'm like, oh, this is just a surge. It will pass. I'll go back to normal and I can continue my slow growth from there. Month 2 comes. They're still there. They're watching me play weird like games on days where I don't feel like roleplay because I'm like exhausted. I'm playing on other servers just to like, because like the server queue, my Prio got reinstated later in 3.0. So there was like a big period in 2.0 or 3.0 where I didn't have my Prio because like when they did stuff, some people like theirs got mixed around.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
So it was hard to get in the server. So I was playing on other servers and playing one shots, and these dudes loved it. They were donating, they were chatting. I had people begging me to be mods. I had people in my like DM saying like, "Hey, dude, I'm not gonna name names. This really broke my heart." I had big Nopixel streamers that I had great interactions with previously message me saying, "Hey, dude, you're like on the cusp. You're gonna hit Twitch partner soon. Like if you ever need anything, let me know. I'll walk you through what you need. This is like a hard area to navigate. I got you." So I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm in, right?" Like I'm making it finally, but you know what? Careful. You know, this could just be a thing. It could just be passing. Keep going. Month 3 comes along, going great. I'm streaming every day. I'm thinking about quitting my job. I'm like this, like if I'm on for 4 more hours a day, I'm making double what I would be making at work. Right. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's not do that until we're partner and then I'll consider it. So I'm getting ready to put my partner application in because I'm starting my stream with 80 viewers. That's the requirement. Like every day I have 80 viewers on my stream. And then something happens. We're living with a friend and my friend has an incredible opportunity. We're paying rent. Like we're not like mooching. We're like paying rent to live with this person because Seattle's crazy. And he's like, I have this opportunity to buy this house. But in order to buy this house, I have to sell my house. And so he's getting like a multi-million-dollar house for pennies on the dollar, basically. And it's like far away, but it's like the house of his dreams. And like him and his partner would be able to like go and just like live out their like fantasies. And he's like, but I have to put this house on the market. And I can't have people living here with it on the market in the way the market is right now. This was like just barely pre-pandemic, I think. Or no, maybe it was mid-pandemic. I don't actually know. It was hard. And so I had to take 2 weeks off to go from living there to living here because I didn't have, like, we couldn't get our internet set up or something, right? So I had to take 2 weeks off. And every day I was like, hey, boys, this is my 2 weeks. Don't worry. I'm moving, keeping everybody updated. Like, my tweets were all getting liked. Like, don't worry. I tweeted this out recently. They were like, don't worry, bro. We'll always be here for you. We're ready. We're here to support you. We got you. 2 weeks go by, and I start my stream with 3 viewers. And it never recovered. And almost every day I'll have somebody come to my chat and go, yo, Stanky, my favorite streamer, dude. You're the best. I love you. It's literally the first message they've ever sent in my channel. I'm like, what? What? And that,
I feel like, okay, sorry.
That's kind of, I stopped playing stankyleg after that because it felt so, I don't know. I felt betrayed in a way by the community, which I don't want to say, like, I don't mean that really, but that's kind of how it felt. I felt betrayed by the people that watched me. I didn't feel like they owed me anything, but I just felt so thrown away. I felt like garbage.
Yeah.
And I've had really a hard emotional time playing stankyleg since then because I'm like, I feel like I was like swarmed by bees and they liked me and then they all stung me and fucked off. And now do I want to go to the thing that's going to bring the bees back? Like, these were not people that wanted to see me. Now, to be clear, I did get a couple of really genuine, like, they've come in my stream every single day since then, like real ones. And it's been awesome. And I feel so grateful for them that it feels really, really good. I message them all the time. I like talk about their family. Like, I'm like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, thank you. Like, this, like, I'm trying to do this as a job, which is embarrassing when you have the viewership that I do, you know, but like, you just got to try things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why I stopped playing stankyleg. I started talking about it because you guys were gone and I didn't have anything to talk about. You guys both left me.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You gotta go. That's what the ad break will be for in the future, by the way. We'll take turns doing ads so people can go pee.
I have like a similar issue. Well, if I get traction on my streams, like if I go above 30 or 40 average, I tend to, I don't know, I tend to get anxious clicking that start streaming, start stream button on OBS because I feel like there's a certain expectation, there's a certain like barrier I need to reach to keep on entertaining these people and bringing in more viewers. And I like I coax myself out of it. Then I take these breaks, and these 1 week breaks turn into 2 week breaks, and then months. And I don't stream for a bit, and I come back. Like I've gone through this cycle like 3 times now, I think. So yeah, I know how I know how that might feel.
Yeah,
I can definitely relate 100%. And I'm going to start this off by saying I'm extremely lucky to have a very, very supportive woman in my life. She is grounding in a sense. She's my best friend. She is so incredibly smart, and she always puts me on the right path. And one thing that she's always said to me is that when it comes to streaming, when it comes to doing what I do or what Hydra and I don't know if you do it full time 52, but for people who stream full time, like that's their job, it is a roller coaster. And these are her exact words. It's a series of ups and downs. The time between those ups and downs might be, bigger for some, but there's always going to be ups and downs no matter what. I have an experience. I started streaming on YouTube after getting tired of editing YouTube videos for my YouTube channel. I decided I wanted to stream instead. So I was playing like PUBG, just stuff with friends to entertain myself. It was better, in my opinion, it was better to spend the 4 hours playing a game that I enjoyed than to spend 4 hours editing 2 hours of content that I made
to make an 8-minute video.
Yeah, like a 10 to 20 minute video, right? So I started streaming, and I found this game called Worlds Adrift. It was an early access game.
I loved that game.
Like fresh off the shelf. When I first picked it up, it was in beta. You couldn't even buy the game. Then the game came out on Steam, and they were doing this thing. Ugh. They were taking like a page out of Nintendo's book, and they were only selling X amount of copies of the game on Steam, which was like the weirdest thing I'd ever heard of.
So dumb.
So they sold like 1,000 copies. They said, we want to keep it low because we want to limit the amount of people for the beta. We don't want to break the servers. We just want to keep beta testing for a while. So we're only going to sell 1,000 copies of the game. So obviously I was still in because I was like an early adopter. Immediately things start popping off. I'm one of like the top 5 Worlds Adrift streamers on anything. I'm seeing 250 plus people on YouTube watching me.
Yo.
Of all places. Shit's, it's just going wild. It's going crazy. I'm doing Worlds Adrift like every other day. The game, like even I was playing it on a computer where this game could only run at like 15 frames.
Dude, swinging around at 15 frames, that sounds horrible.
That's exactly what it was. Trying to shoot I was doing things to like break the game too. Like I was stacking ship parts on top of each other to make the smallest ship possible. Like I was breaking the game as hard as I could. We made the biggest ship ever. It was like a lag suck for anyone who got near it. You could literally tell I was nearby because your game would start lagging. People would tell me. But over the course of a few months, like I saw my highest highs. And then I started to get really, really bored. I had done everything in the game, and I'm not one to force myself to do content because it's working. I want to force myself to do the things that I enjoy. So I started playing other games, and immediately, you get the people, where's Worlds Adrift? Where's Worlds Adrift? I want that. Let's play that. Like, play Worlds Adrift. When are you playing Worlds Adrift again? And then over the course of the next year and a half, 2 years, I was down to from like literally 150 average down to about 10 or 15. Oof. So it was rough, but and this is kind of exactly what you were saying too. so many people who were absolutely genuine stuck around. Some of my mods, my oldest Discord members, I've known for like 6 years now because of this game. But to kind of follow up with that, I spent a long time doing variety gaming with like 10, 15 viewers. I was working a job. I'd come home. I'd do 4 to 6 hours of streams, just hoping for that roller coaster to eventually, go back up again. Right. It is a grind. It is 100% a grind, and you have to be prepared for that. Like, yeah, obviously, if you're not seeing the viewers that you want, it does suck. It is demoralizing at times, but it's keeping that positive head and knowing that it will go up. That I think is the is really, really hard for a lot of streamers. And I know at 52, you said there's like some anxiety there with like keeping people entertained, and like hitting that go live button as well. I felt that in the past. I definitely don't feel it anymore. Now it's just become so second nature to get on and be naturally just me and just don't look at the numbers. This kind of actually falls back to what I was saying earlier about not like looking at any Nopixel stuff after I'm done. You get on, you do your time, then you get off. That's pretty much exactly what I do with streaming too. I get on, I'll check my numbers every few days or every like week or so, but to not focus on that is so good for your mental health.
I only recently, when I came back, because I took a long break, if you recall, after the stankyleg thing. I didn't log on the server for like 6 months, maybe. I just couldn't do it, man. I was so down. And when I finally came back, I was like, all right, I'm going to come back. I want to play. I'm going to stream, but I'm turning my viewer count off. And that alone has been like, the only time I don't like it is when I want to go raid someone. I'm like, I don't want to raid someone with 2 people.
2 people's a 2-person raid. People will come over and they'll be like, hey, I'm only sending 4 people over to, you got 100 people watching. And I was like, dude, it's a 4-person raid. How is your stream, man? Thanks for the eyes. Like, that's fucking, that's 4 sets of eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it, man. Hopefully you had a good time.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do a topic change?
Sure. What are you thinking?
Who would you like to have as our first guest? Who do you think would be an amazing first guest?
Okay. I feel like it would be nice to have Miles on at some point. I know he'd be down.
I knew you were gonna say Miles.
I definitely will say Miles because he's my homie.
Dude, I love Miles. I didn't know Miles was Whitley Booth. Stankyleg had a whole pirate arc. I still have his pirate outfit.
Yep. He's my first mate. Better pirate than I was. Funny story about Miles. I show up at the apartments one day. I'm Moosebeard. I get there, and Miles has been playing Whitley for like 2 hours total. He's standing outside of the apartments. I walk up to him, and he goes, "Hey, hoi there," and he does like his whole Whitley.
He does his Whitley Booth voice. Hey, hoi there.
And I immediately go, "Oh shit,
a real pirate,
a real pirate," and he's doing it better than me. And so I'm like, I start, talking to him, and he's like, I'm Whitley Booth, and I go, yeah, the Booths, they were, that's a good family, strong family name and all that, right? Like, and we hit it off like instantly, and from there on, we were like, pirate buddies. But just like the randomness of finding another character playing a pirate on Nopixel was so. It just warmed my heart. He didn't even know about me. We didn't know about either like that any other pirates were on the server. So it was pretty good.
I think Miles would be a great dude. His ability, okay, he's such a good role player that when he's playing Whitley Booth, you feel loved. You want to come hang out with him. You want to play with him. And when he's playing Stubble, you're like scared. You're like, this guy's scary. Like, he can like gear shift so well. It's very impressive.
Honestly, he's maybe one of the best cops right now. He knows how to play a situation, like to feel it out, how to read the room, but he also can go way to the extreme and know how to lead a situation and to take something that is like very serious or like a shootout and to just dominate it. I once heard possibly the golden tier Air 1 comms from him as he was flying Air 1 over top of a shootout, and he's calling out the exact
It's like you were there. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like you were fucking there. Just hearing it, yeah.
It was, he's overhead and he goes, all right, we got one running through the wine field. He does have a class 2 on his back. Gun is being pulled. Gun is pulled. Officer's opening fire. He's returning fire. He's down. One down. And then he's like immediately on the next. And he is flying Air 1 while he's doing this. And he's watching from the air without like help of a camera or anything like that. He's literally right above. And that alone takes skill, because that's how like I got my Air 1 cert, was flying and doing comms by myself. And so I know right away that it's like, it's difficult to see people from up there. It's difficult to discern if they have a gun or if they're pulling a gun or anything like that. So it is exactly like you said. It's like being there. He's so good when it comes to that. And he's one of the best room readers.
Yeah.
I'm actually so upset that like through my actions of not being responsible enough with the cone thing, like he ended up getting some flack for that because of something we had done weeks prior on the Littleman.
Yeah, how did it go from you and the person involved to you and Miles? While you're talking about that, I'm gonna go. Somebody's playing music too loud. I'm gonna to turn down.
Yeah, it was. I think it actually ended up being a clip that went around showing that we were on the Littlemans, and we had placed a cone. It was meant to, it didn't block anything off, but it was meant to fuck with people. It wasn't on as important of a jump, but it was like, we did it specifically to troll, which again, that was in character. That was something that we had planned to do as the Littlemans. We didn't want the Littleman on the police force or whatever to ever be serious. It was always a troll thing, so it was very much in character for us to do what we did. But he was the one at the end of the day who like placed one of the cones there. Even though it never fucked with anybody, as far as I know. It never nobody ever ran into it.
They were very serious about not abusing these.
Yeah.
Or misusing even.
And they kind of had to make an example just so that other people don't think about fucking with that.
And honestly, like Moosebeard and what's Miles' character's name? Stubble are like golden boys in the PD. They're like the if somebody went pick the 2 like most capable like consistent officers, you'd be like, oh, okay, like easily you guys are in that list, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Moosebeard less so than Stubble, because I've got a silliness factor that I think Stubble can't match.
But you're consistent though. You're very consistent, and also your ability to multitask is wild. This dude will answer phone calls from anybody in the middle of an A+ boost. He'll do it in the middle of a shootout.
Comms and doing
it's wild.
Jesus.
That's fun.
My first FTO session on Carmine, I felt overwhelmed so fast.
It's a lot. You just gotta take it.
Who I don't know how you guys do it. It was Gunner.
Oh, okay. Don't.
Me too.
Wasn't nice.
He threw me into
my
the deep
first
end.
FTO.
Yeah, he does that so that the next person that FTOs you feel it's like a fucking cakewalk.
I loved Gunner actually. I've never played COD before. I never had an onboarding like most people do. I figured it out myself. And he says, have you ever driven before? And I go, yeah, I've driven cars. Like, of course. He goes, all right, you're driving. I've never done comms. I barely knew any of the 10 codes. I didn't know any case law. That was great.
That's so
Gunner was a great first FTO.
Yeah, I love Gunner.
To add to that, 52, it is stressful. It is so stressful. Yeah. I once had an FTO session with Lydia Vale, played by the absolutely amazing Kath Farr. I hope I'm saying that right, honestly, her name, because I don't want to besmirch her in any sense.
Because she'll rip your head off. She's scary.
I love that we have so many like strong, amazing women on the server who play like
it's so sick,
just such good characters and are opinionated and so strong. I love it. It's just, it fills me with so much joy. I think that's how the world should be. That's how, we should, be. It's just really, really amazing to see, and I love that.
It is really fucking nice.
LSPD's on a different level, I guess. They don't make them like they make the LSPD.
True.
I was out with her, and FTO session only lasted 2 hours because at 2 hours, I had personally felt as though I had made way too many mistakes for somebody who had been a cadet as long as I had. I fucked up driving a few times. I fucked up a few call signs or like 10 codes. I wasn't calling things in as well as I could. Like it was rookie mistakes for somebody who had been a cadet for like a month already. And both in character and out of character, my morality just hit the floor. And I said to her, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I have to cut this short because like, I am just so disappointed with my performance today. I need to go and just like take some time away. She's like, okay, was it me? And I was like, it's not you. It's the fact that I want to be like you with how good you are at what you do. Like you do it so effortlessly. You're just amazing. And I just feel like I wasn't living up to any of that expectation. There was no expectation. It just,
you have self-imposed expectations, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. So I told her that, and she messaged me like out of character. She's like, are you sure you're okay? Like everything's fine. I was like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. It just, today's not the day. Right. And I needed to just step away. She's like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine. I peeped her really quickly and she was talking about it. Super nice. And somebody in her chat goes, wow, that reminds me of a certain cadet, implying that like, that's how she was. She was too. Yeah. She was like very hard on herself and very like self-imposing, as you said.
Yeah.
So that made me feel better about it. It's like, the person who I'm looking up to was
felt
kind of
similar.
The same
Yeah,
way.
that's sick.
It's so stressful there's so much to learn, so much to know. You are in a sense like a mini admin, right? Which is why I have no problem with taking any kind of punishment. I had a 22-hour suspension one time for just something stupid that I did, but I'm never. There was even I almost got blacklisted from SWAT one time because I took a beanbag shotgun to a SWAT raid.
Oh no!
Don't do that, by the way. Don't do that. Don't use beanbag shotguns unless you're allowed to.
Wait, so should I stop buying the adrenaline and injecting it?
Yeah,
at the start of every shift?
You're doing it, recreationally.
It's just the start of the shift.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably fine as long as you're doing it recreationally and not for any kind of gain.
That's funny. What were we? What were we talking? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. 52.
I feel like I underestimated how much work PD have to. I was thinking it would be easy, just walk in, tell people what to do, put cuffs on them if they say no. But geez, there's fucking case laws. I don't watch too many streams, so the learning curve.
I think that's better. I think it's better. If you are gonna watch some streams, you should watch Miles Away. His cop work, dude, is immaculate. It's MYLES_away.
Yeah, really, really good. He came in so strong from DOC as well.
He's a DOC guy. Nice.
Yeah, he was DOC captain. He actually wrote a lot of SOPs. We were on the Littlemans the other day, and we get to prison.
Oh no!
And the first thing we see are 3 DOC, and they're on the catwalk. There's no DOC down on the ground, which Ron right away. It kind of sucks because we like interacting with DOC. We don't just like treat them as though they're just like wannabe security guard cops in the prison, right?
Yeah.
Like we actually interact with them. So the first thing he goes is like, he asks the other lifers, he's like, why are they up there? What's going on? And they go, oh, they're just sitting up there with their beanbag shotguns. And if we fuck up or we do anything stupid, they'll just shoot us with the beanbag shotgun from up top.
So I bet.
And he goes,
be right back.
They're using beanbag shotguns from the catwalks. He'd be like, man, it would be great if like one of the DOC were to write actual standard operating procedures for how to use the beanbag shotgun. because he wrote the certification for how to use a beanbag shotgun.
I thought he was gonna log out and come back as Stubble.
Nah, he should have.
That would have been so funny.
The hell's going on here? It's me, Corner Stubble.
Stoner Cubble. That's what I call him all the time.
Trouble.
Nice.
That's my that's Moose Beard's
So your votes for Stubble, okay. 52.
Yeah, I like Miles.
Who would you like
Miles
to
is really
see as a
Me?
guest? Yeah. Who would you like to have on?
Who I feel good dynamic, like someone I feel like has a lot of experience on the server,
Okay.
and OTT Maximus Leg.
Oh, that would actually be sick.
I feel like the roleplay he gets involved with, it's not too many people doing what he does, and like his point of view will probably be like a fresh of air. How does that saying go? Fresh of air of fresh.
Breath of
you know
fresh
what
air.
I'm trying. Yeah, that's it.
A fresh of air. Dude, do you know what I love? Do you know what I love about Max? The work ethic on this guy. It's out of this world. Show me somebody with better work ethic. Dude, the guy, he's like just doing stuff constantly. I don't even know what he's doing. I see occasional stuff on Twitter. Every now and then I'll see stuff like a clip or something. The dude puts in work, and he has dealt with some shit. And people have a lot of opinions about this guy, but you know who people have opinions about? People who put the work in.
That's right.
I would love to talk to him.
Yeah.
He wrote a book about
real estate and everything.
Music. Dude, he's a dad. Like, that's a wild. Doing all this stuff, man. Incredible. What an incredible guy.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I think it'd have to be for our first guest. I would love either Das Medi. I think the guy's just so special. There's something that he does that just, you can hear it. Like when he talks on the radio, people are like, he role plays so fucking well. People like tighten up when he's around. Like more than when Soze's around, more than when Andrews is around. Brian Knight, the character, piloted by Das Medi, just has this like magic. And he can be doing goofy. He switches from goofy shit to super serious really fast and well. And he's so good. He's so fucking good. And he genuinely, I mean, partly it's, you know, the Prio thing, and partly it's the experiences that I've had with him. But man, I have so much respect for the guy. I'd love to have him on.
His comms crack me up sometimes, because he'll just be doing something that'll be, you know, he'll be doing regular comms, then he'll just go, oh, like on the
yeah. He does like the react. He's the kind of person that like pushes the radio to cough.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know why I did that. Yeah. Does he still call Stubble Modern Warfare or Call of Duty?
He calls him, yeah, he does. He's been called other things too. I can't remember what, Salt or something like that, or what the it's some other Modern Warfare meme.
Is it Price? Is that the guy he's referring to?
Maybe.
The name of the.
I was a Counter-Strike guy. I didn't play much of that.
Flashbang through the door.
Yeah, his character Brian Knight started off as a bumbling fool. I remember back in the day when he was a cadet.
Yeah.
He was a comedic relief character, and then he developed into Brian Knight of today.
I don't know if he does this thing anymore.
Progression.
Yeah, he used to do this thing where he would have like a sitcom like sound effects when he would like. It would be like the Full House theme, and then he'd walk in, and there'd be like a laugh track, and somebody would be like, "I'm having a bad day." The crowd would be like, "Oh," just crazy immersive work to make his stream entertained. Beyond that, I would love to see, I would love to have Kylie on. I think Kylie's like an absolute OG. She's been through like the best and the worst of Nopixel.
100%.
Like, show me somebody that's more loved and hated at the same time. You can't find one. I don't think you can. And she is a big part of why. So Willie and I were like the first people ever hired for the booth, by the way. I don't know if you know this.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So it was Willie, and then it was me, because Willie and I got along really well. And we hung out with Lock Q. Willie's it's a great guy. But Kylie and Toretti, Mantis, were doing this thing, and she had seen that I was trying to be a cop and was like, no, come here, you're hired. She's like, you work here now. And so that was kind of like the path that got me here too. And I've always had a ton of respect
pulled
for her.
me in as well.
She
was the one who like gave me my keys
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah,
I
you and I still have keys to the city because of that.
well,
And I don't think it matters. I think all cops are like that now. But yeah, dude, she's so good at like. She roleplays her character so well. I find myself smiling when she's around, right? Even when she's pissed. When she's super pissed, I'm like, all right, dude, okay. The other day, I actually got mad at her because like we were doing a chase and somebody fucked the chase up. And she was like, well, if you're going to be a bunch of fucking idiots, I'm not going to tell you where the guy is. I'm leaving. And I was mad. And then I was like, no, wait, this is actually very in character. I was like taking it personally. And I was like, no, this is like very in character. I love this. So yeah, I'd love that. Or obviously Space Boy. I think I've had a ton of really good
that's
interaction.
what I was just going to mention.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we 100%. With everything that's happened recently too, I've had so many good people reach out and just be like, hey man, are you okay? Like, is everything all right? You know, and yeah, you know, everything is fine. But he was angry. Like he was mad for me. And I wasn't even as mad as he was.
Yeah.
And I think it really showed me something that like I didn't like. I knew the guy, I knew he's a really good guy and all that, but like this guy, he honestly has got a heart of gold. I'd love to have him on and just like get to know him better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to have him on. If we could get him, that'd be sick. But yeah, that's people. If you guys have viewers, if you have any ideas of who people you'd like to have on, throw in the comments. This is going to be on a YouTube channel. I might just put it on mine if you guys are fine with that. We haven't really talked any of the details. I might just put it up and I could make a unique one for it as well. If we ever start monetizing it, obviously we'll split that amongst us. If we get some traction and people want to watch and hang out, I have some ideas for some like side shows that we could do for like a Patreon special or something like that. But it would just take like actual money and effort to do. But I thought like we could do this show from inside a GTA server, like as our characters.
Oh,
Like stuff like that. Like do like in character interviews. Like in like a side server, so I could just buy like a cheap GTA server and just, something like that.
Yeah.
But I have a bunch of ideas. Want to do more. Thank you guys. This was so fun. I really, really liked this.
Yeah.
Um,
I enjoyed it too.
Let's do everybody's ats and your Twitch stream. 52, what you got?
52 Chainz. That's my Twitch handle and my Twitter handle as well.
Perfect.
That's pretty much all I have.
Go check out the homie.
I'm Troms on Twitch, TRAUMZ, because I'm Canadian. Pretty much everything else is Troms too. You'll be able to find it. Just follow the Twitch. You'll understand.
Yeah. And I'm Hydra at Hydra, please. On all the socials. Yeah, if you could please go subscribe to my YouTube channel where this is going to be, you'll get a notification whenever it's up. So, yeah, that was super fun, boys. I think we'll call it.
Guys,
yes,
1 sub equals 1 sub. If you sub,
true.
you're gonna be subbed.
That's true. Yes,
For
Pixel.
today only.
just this one time. Yes, Pixel. Episode 1. Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.